What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean P, the Blunt guy. Hey! And we are back with another reaction stream. Oh, yeah. So today, well, I was sent this video from Marshall D Preach on Twitter a few weeks ago, right? You know, like around the time I was preparing to move, so I never actually got a chance to actually react to it, right? So kind of put it off for a little bit until I got, new spot. So that's what we're here to do today. We are here to react to Marshall D Preach's video titled, "I think I accidentally solved the One Piece. Oda isn't human if it is true." All right, y'all. So this video is a bit of a long one. It's about an hour long, so I don't want to waste too much time in the my introductions, my normal early stream stuff, right? So I'm gonna try to get through it so we could get into this video, and I probably won't pause as often as I will because again, it's an hour long video. A lot of times I do 20-minute videos, and 15-20-minute videos, and those streams could go for 2-3 hours sometimes. So we're gonna pretty much get into it, right? But before I do get into it, make sure you guys hit that like button. It definitely helps the videos perform well, and it helps the channel grow. So make sure you hit that like button. Also, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell for notifications. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you're looking for a One Piece community to be a part of, we have the Discord where you can send me videos. The best place to send me videos. You can send them to me anywhere, but I usually take priority when people send them through the Discord. And we also have the One Piece Facebook group. So yeah. Anyway, the link to this video will also be in the description box, as well as all those other things. So let's not waste too much time, and let's get into this video. I want to be able to watch this whole video, right, and then not take like and not be like a 5-hour stream of just watching this video, right? So we gonna get into the video early, and shout out to my uncle in the chat with a thumbs up. I think he usually send me those thumbs up, early. I guess after I post the stream or whatever. I don't know, but I appreciate the love from my uncle. And yes, let's get into this video. One thing I heard about this video, it was trending, right? I don't know if it was trending on Twitter. Somebody in the Discord told me that this video was trending. So, that's what's up. That's what's up to Preach, man. I'm glad he got a video that did well, right? And possibly help this channel grow. I'm hoping that's what this trend did, was help him and his channel grow. So, yeah, I just kind of wanted to add that. But let's get into this video.
So I was gathering research for my next video on why I believe Luffy will defeat Kaido as the sun rises when it all hit me. I started laughing, not just any laugh, but the kind of laugh that you hear from someone, and start to question if they're even sane. Thinking about what I just discovered, I started running back and forth in my house with excitement. I obviously had to research some more to see just how deep this theory was, and the more I looked, the more I realized I may have found something monumental to the One Piece community. Not being able to hide my excitement and thoughts to myself any longer, I went to my roommate's room and told him, I think I have it. I think I have $1 million idea right in my hands. I might have the One Piece.
One Piece wa jitsuzai suru!
As I told him all the details, and as he realized what I was telling him and started to process what I just discovered, he started laughing so hard, and in fact, I've never seen a bigger or crazier smile on his face. You see, the One Piece and Laugh Tale itself is something so funny yet so insane that it gives you a bone-chilling yet satisfying experience. It is both a legendary tale and a physical pirate treasure itself. I believe I figured out what they both are, and it's been foreshadowed so many times. Piece. In fact, I even realized that every single arc gives us a clue to what the treasure really is. Not only every arc, but even the logo of One Piece and even the Straw Hat itself basically tells us what it is. Just thinking about how much in our face it's been all along gives me chills. Wizard of Oz here, and today I'll tell you what the One Piece actually is. Please try to stay with me because I'm going to be going over so many things at a pretty fast speed. So seriously try to pay attention because there are just too many facts that all point to one single piece of information.
Alright, so we got Wizard of Oz on this one, right? Because if you follow this channel for a while, you know that Marshall D. Preach and Wizard of Oz was two separate channels, but they both fused into one channel, and now we got, I think the last Marshall D. Preach video I did, it was Preach that pretty much did the theory. So this time we get Oz, right? We get Oz. And I'm curious, is this going to be Saki, right? Is his theory going to culminate to Saki similar to O'Hara, right? I think I want to say it was Manu, not Arthur Library of O'Hara, but I think it was just O'Hara with the Saki theory, right? Shout out to Angel's Room in the chat. He says, yo. And then Adam, shout out to Adam in the chat. He said, this is great vid. Preach found some great stuff. Angel said, never found time to watch this. Well, we watching it today, man. We watching it today. Adam says, only thing I'll add is that I think it's really important that Roger made a wish at Laugh-Tale. Yeah. So yeah, guys, y'all know, y'all just coming into the chat and everything. We're getting right into the video. This video is an hour. It's an hour long, right? So I didn't want to waste time with, I know in the beginning of my streams I kind of talk about the video we're about to watch, but I don't want to waste too much time, and I probably won't stop it too much because I do want to get through this video without it being like a 5-6 hour stream, right? Because y'all know, like, I do like 15-minute videos, and them things could be like 2 to 3 hours sometimes, like as far as the stream. So I really want to get through this video. But you said Arthur was the one with Saki. It was Arthur? I thought it was O'Hara. I know it's one of the O'Haras. I'm gonna start calling them the O'Hara brothers, even though their channels are nothing related. But both of them have O'Hara in their channel names. So let's continue.
To start off, I just want to quickly go over what we already know about the One Piece itself. I'll be referencing all these lines or facts later on, so let me briefly tell you all the canon facts on it thus far. First of all, One Piece is the name that the world called the treasure, and wasn't named that by Roger himself. Roger says, and they have no idea when hearing the name of the treasure, hinting that the words One Piece is ironic to what he found. The next most important thing about the One Piece is that when you find it, you not only learn the history, but also the future timeline. You see, Roger, Whitebeard, and Ray Lee already know what will take place in the future. Whitebeard tells Sengoku in his last words that whenever someone finally finds that treasure, the world will be turned upside down. He also says that the world government fears the great war that is coming to the world one day, hinting that he already knows what the future is because Roger told him. We also see that Oda knows the dawn is coming to Wano, and that Joy Boy will be the one to save them. You see, this whole time we thought that the One Piece would tell us information that happened in the Void Century until we reached Wano. Once we reach Wano, we see the One Piece reveals what happens in the future, as well as the past history that already happened. What is happening right now in Wano is part of a prophecy made by Odin, which he seems to have learned from Joy Boy. Another thing we know about the One Piece is that you learn what the Will of D is, you learn what the ancient weapons are, that in the past Wano was open to the world, and overall the entire truth of the world. When we see Roger and his crew find the One Piece, they laugh. Not only laugh, but laugh so hard that tears come out of their eyes. Roger laughs as he says this is quite a treasure you've left behind, a tale full of laughs. So apparently the One Piece was funny enough to make Roger want to call the final island Laugh Tale. Now what could be so funny about this tale? What's so funny about celestial dragons enslaving people? What could be so funny about the ancient kingdom losing a war to a bunch of egotistical narcissists that think they're gods? Well, boy is it a funny tale.
I'm thinking, like, what if what if the One Piece was something like so minuscule, like it was like nothing, right? And Roger just kind of set everything in motion as some big old joke. That'd be funny. Now I do think the One Piece is actually something more meaningful You know what I mean? I don't think it's like this whole joke where they say the power or the journey. You know what I'm saying? Like the One Piece the One Piece treasure is the journey of finding the One Piece itself, or like something. I don't think it's something silly like that. Like it could be something a bit silly. I do believe it might like the Hosaki theory from O'Hara. I I can see it being something along that silliness, right? Like it being something silly, but not like the adventure itself silly, right? Like I don't think it's that, but I do think it is actually something tangible though, like something, you know, something you can actually possess. I don't think it's just a lesson or anything. So, but yeah, Angel said, well, it was of the crew naming it Laugh Tale rather than Roger, but still the same thing. Yeah. I don't know what you responded to, but okay. I guess it's something he said. But yeah, let's continue.
Alright, and you'll probably laugh just at the thought of it. You see, Oda has been showing us hints and clues to what the Laugh Tale is, and it's kind of been right in our faces. Something else that Roger says about the One Piece is that he and his crew were too early. Too early for what? Does this mean that the treasure can only be accessed at a certain time or by a certain man? If Roger and his crew found the One Piece, why didn't they tell anyone what it is or try to start a world revolution themselves? Well, there is a reason for all this, and let me just tell you, it is not what you think. There is in fact a reason for only a certain timeline being able to find the One Piece, and it's a crazy one. Another thing that I need to bring up about the One Piece is its Japanese kanji. One Piece in Japanese reads as Hito Tsunagi. This has 3 different meanings, but they all relate to what the One Piece treasure actually is. The first meaning is in One Piece, the second is a rope linking all men, and the third would be one sea at peace. These 3 meanings are important because they all
That third meaning, I really think is the most meaningful for me, because like one thing I believe at the end of the series, and I'm not talking about what the One Piece is. I'm just talking about the end goal of the series. I believe is to unite the world, right? Because when you look at the actual map of the world of One Piece, right, you have the East Blue, the West Blue, the North Blue, and the South Blue, right? And then you also have the red line pretty much cutting the world in half, and part of it is the reverse mountain as well, on the other side, I guess. And then you have the grand line that also cuts the world in half horizontally. Let's say the red line is cutting the world in half vertically. The grand line and the calm belts are cutting the world in half. Like they're like the equator, for example, right? So they're doing it horizontally. I believe that the purpose, that the end goal of the One Piece is to pretty much unify the world. And I think there's so much evidence to really prove that, not just kind of the word One Piece, which you could say you're turning the world into one piece, but it's the fact that the story kind of talks about bringing people together, right? Bringing people together. What way to bring people together than to get rid of the red line and the grand line, right? You get rid of those things, and then bam, you could pretty much travel wherever you want in the world. Not only that, you talk about freedom. It's not, as a pirate, you're not really free to just travel the seas with all this division, with all the seas and stuff being divided upon, right? That's another reason. And then we look at Madam Shirley's prediction. What was her prediction? It was that Luffy will destroy Fishman Island, and I think we all believe that Luffy wouldn't consciously just destroy Fishman Island just cause, right? I think him destroying Fishman Island is a byproduct of him destroying the Red Line, because if you look at the geography of Fishman Island, it's right below the Red Line. You know, so if he destroys the Red Line, indirectly he's destroying Fishman Island as well. And I think that's also the purpose of the ancient weapons, for example, right? Where we got Pluton, which is known for being able to destroy an island. You know what I'm saying? So I would think that Pluton could potentially be used to destroy the Red Line and Reverse Mountain and all that. And then you look at Poseidon. I think Poseidon's purpose is to pretty much help the fishermen escape. Well, I don't really know what Poseidon's purpose, because I don't think the fishermen need Poseidon. I don't think they need the ark. It has something to do with the ark, right? It has something to do with the ark, which I think is what Poseidon's purpose is, to be able to move the ark. You know what I'm saying? And I think that also has something to do with the end goal of One Piece, destroying the Red Line. Because when you think about it, what happens if you destroy the Red Line? I think one thing I believe will happen when you destroy the Red Line, the ocean, the weather is going to get out of control. It's going to, become unstable. There might be floods, right? There might be floods all through the world, which that's when the Noah comes in, kind of like biblical, kind of like in the Bible where there was a huge flood. You had Noah's Ark. I think that's where Noah comes in. And then we have Uranus, right? The third ancient weapon that we don't know much about. I personally believe that Uranus, when you look at the Greek god Uranus, I think he's the god of the sky, pretty much. Just gotta remember correctly. The god of the sky. When I look at the god of the sky, at least maybe in relation to One Piece, I look at some possible weather control, right? Weather control, because a lot of weather is closely related to the sky, because we get rain, the clouds in the sky, rain. Most weather comes from is affected from what goes on in the sky, I guess. I don't really, I'm not no weatherologist, so I don't want to really talk about that too much. But yeah, I think Uranus's purpose is to pretty much stabilize the weather after it goes haywire, right? And then another thing that makes me believe that the One Piece that points to the end goal of the series is destroying the Red Line and the Reverse Mountain and the Grand Line and all those things is Sanji's goal, right? To find the All Blue. What is the All Blue? It's the point where all the blues, East Blue, North Blue, West Blue, South Blue, they all pretty much congregate. That's like the point where you get all the fish from every ocean meet, where all the oceans meet or seas meet, right? But as we look at the geography of the One Piece world, that can't exist because of the Red Line and the Grand Line. So if you get rid of those things, now we have an all blue. We have an all blue where where you could get all the fish from all the different seas. Not only that, you can travel anywhere in the world without having to worry about getting past a calm belt or getting past the Red Line or the Grand Line, whatever. So yeah, that's kind of my that's why I think that that third meaning is definitely very relevant to the end goal of the series. And I think what the One Piece is, or I think the One Piece has to do with maybe a plan, right? I think it's a plan, or I'm not saying it. I think the plan of the One Piece project, which is unifying the world, is at Laugh Tale. It might not be the core treasure, but I do believe that plan to unify the world is at Laugh Tale, and it's part of the One Piece. What are you guys talking about? Adam says Pirate King so free he couldn't pick his own name for anything. According to chapter 2 of OP, just being held captive and forced to work for pirates can be a criminal offense worth death. And the Pirate King ever got beheaded. The same page we learned about him. Okay. Ray says hi. What's good, man? What's good, Rage? And then he says, when you destroy Red Line, Ancient Kingdom might appear in all blue will form. Oh, I haven't even thought about like the actual Ancient Kingdom, I guess the land of the Ancient Kingdom actually appearing, right? But that's possible. I don't know. And then Adam says Noah originally meant an initial movement like inertia. Makes me think Roa, Noah, Zoro for some future stuff. LOL. I mean, I guess. You sound like you know more than me about like name meanings, so well, let's continue.
Relate to one and one thing only. I'll remind you about this once I reveal what the One Piece is, but still just try to keep these phrases in mind. The last key point that I need to bring up about the One Piece is that it's not just a tale or only knowledge, but also in fact a real treasure. You see, just like everything else in one of these mysteries, the actual physical treasure that Luffy and the Straw Hats will claim has also been foreshadowed through the whole story. When I reveal to you what it is, you're gonna lose your mind.
Hold on, Adam. I think I finally get what you was getting at when you said Roa, Noah, Zoro, like Noah. Cause are you talking about cause he's always getting lost? Like he moves around a lot, so he's always getting lost cause his inertia or something. Well, I feel like that's a Zoro getting lost type reference. Let's continue.
Mind, so just please be prepared to get chills and to possibly even scream out of pure hype. This wraps up what we already know about the One Piece, and now let's get into the actual theory itself. Roger and the Roger Pirates learned the truth of the world. They learned about someone named Joy Boy and his funny tales. This one specific line made by Roger is what really made me think about what the One Piece actually really is. At the end of chapter 967, Roger says, "Oh Joy Boy, I wish I'd been born in your time." Why does he wish he could have been born in his time? What's so good about living in a time of a war that the victor is the celestial dragons and specifically most likely Im-sama? What's so good about living during the time of a man that lost? If you ask me, I wouldn't want to be there to see Joy Boy lose or to see the ancient kingdom fall to the ground. That honestly seems like a pretty tragic thing to witness firsthand. If it was tragic, then what did Roger mean by, "I wish I'd been born in your time"? Well, with more recent context, I believe Roger meant, "I wish I'd been born in your time, Joy Boy." And yes, Joy Boy as in Luffy. Roger wishes he'd been born in Luffy's time, not the original Joy Boy. Remember, Luffy is also Joy Boy, and when you find the One Piece, you don't only learn about what happened in the past, but also what happened in the future. That also makes me think, what if
I don't know. I don't know if I think he was initially directing that at Luffy. I think he was directing that at Joy Boy of the past. Personally, that's what I think. But I mean, that's an interesting, I guess, way to, I guess, interesting perspective, I guess, about it. Like maybe he could have been talking to Luffy, right? He could have been talking to Luffy. Adam says, yep, the Noah ties, like his direction might be off, like Labunalo. Just that something in the OP world could be confusing. Zoro's senses type thing. Maybe if you destroy the Grand Line, like maybe what if it's like the Red Line that's just disrupting Zoro's senses? Like he actually has great senses, but it's like the Red Line is disrupting him. That'd be kind of funny. Like once you destroy that, he actually could find stuff and he doesn't get lost anymore. Let's continue.
What even is the past? If the future already happened, isn't it basically the past? The future is an even further future's history. The Kozuki clan claims that they are the one that weave history. What does that even mean? Weave history. The definition of weave, oh yeah, not that weave, is to make a complex story from a number of interconnected elements. Each poneglyph weaves pieces of history together with other elements tied into it as well to create the whole history or the one history. The whole history isn't only what happened in the void century, but also what will be weaved with the future. One day, the future will be history, and what was the future to them and Roger is actually happening right now. Please try to remember the word weave and that the Kazuki clan weave history, because there's another huge point coming later on with it that is mind-blowing. In this line, he also says how Joy Boy left an unbelievable treasure though, so it seems like he is talking to the Joy Boy from the past. Now, just hear me out because this will be explained more deeply later, but what if in Laugh Tale, when Joy Boy returns, it's not clear that it's a different Joy Boy from the past? What if the name of the character in this Laugh Tale is Joy Boy, he loses the ancient war, then comes back 800 years later to defeat the same people that beat him the previous time? It may be that the only name this individual goes by is Joy Boy, so Roger may think that Joy Boy actually won the war in the long run. So maybe he wishes he could have been in the same era as the return of Joy Boy. In his eyes, maybe Joy Boy left the great treasure, but will also come back to claim what is his and take his treasure back. Some evidence that the people of back then view both the past and present Joy Boy as the same thing is when Zunisha straight up just says that Joy Boy has returned. He doesn't say someone else reminds him of Joy Boy. No, he quote unquote says that the Joy Boy from 800 years ago has finally returned. He claims that this is his first time he's heard the drums of liberation in 800 years. Zunisha was also even on Joy Boy's crew, and he doesn't acknowledge that it's someone else with the model Nika fruit. He says that Joy Boy himself, the one that was his crewmate, has returned. If this doesn't make you question the story of One Piece, then I don't know what will. To expand on this tale of Joy Boy and how I believe Roger wanted to be.
I don't know, man. Some people just believe that Zunisha was wrong, and that when Zunisha said Joy Boy returned, that it was just cause she heard the drums of liberation, and not that Joy Boy has actually returned. So I personally, I think Oda made it a purpose for Zunisha to say that, because yes, it was indeed, or Luffy is indeed Joy Boy. So that's kind of my look on it. Angel said, I agree with Preach. I think he meant Luffy because Odin say Joy Boy will appear 20 years from now. I don't know. I don't think so. Could it have been? Yeah, but I think he was talking about Joy Boy the past. I feel as though he would have said something like, I wish I could still like live to see, I gotta remember, oh Joy Boy, I wish to been born in your time. Like that's what he says. We're at 8:21. Remember that, guys. 8:21. I want to go back a little bit. Where is it? 8:21. Alright, hold on.
Please try to remember the word weave and that the Kazuki clan weave history, because there's another huge point coming later on with it that is mind-blowing. In this line, he also
Alright, I wish I'd been born in your... Nah, I feel as though the wording, the wording of what he says is reference in the past. Like to say, I wish I'd been born, I would have been born. Like, I wish I'd been born in your time would mean like back, like been back. He didn't say I wish I would be born in your time, or I wish I live in your time or anything. To me, it's kind of like, if you understand language, been is a past tense type of word. It's a word of speaking in the past tense. So I think he was talking about past Joy Boy. But yeah. I agree with Preacher. Adam says, "LOL, yep. I don't just mean Zoro is probably happening for tons of people, places, etc. in the OP world." Angel says, "Preach, ignoring how Zunisha said she thought he was there. She even calls Luffy boy while talking about Joy Boy. She treats Joy Boy and Luffy as two different people. 2 chapters after that, he said been because he was already born." What? He said, "I wish I'd been born back in your." No, if it was the future, he would say, "I wish I would be born in your." You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I mean, I get what you're saying though. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, and you're somewhat right. But let's continue. You're somewhat right though. You're somewhat right. Let's continue. I was at 821.
Boy, and how I believe Roger wanted to be born in the era of the Joy Boy that wins is when Roger realizes what the Sea Kings were saying. The Sea Kings say that the two sovereigns should meet again. Roger realizes that what they are saying was apparently what he calls the truth.
And I think if he was talking about Luffy though, he would have said, "I wish I like would survive. I wish I would live to see you, Joy Boy," cause what? Like Roger died. Roger just died. He could have still existed during Luffy's time. Like he could have still existed during Luffy's time. He just died too early because he died pretty young. So it's not like he was just born at the wrong time. It's just he died too early. You know what I'm saying? But Joy Boy on the other hand, he would have had to been born to be able to see like the past Joy Boy. For Luffy, like Joy Boy as Luffy, he just would have had to continue to live. He just would have had to not die so early. Angel said, "Saying I wish I would be born is not proper grammar." I agree. I told you you was right about that one. But still, if he was talking about Luffy, I would have think he would say, "I wish I would have lived to see you, Joy Boy. I would have continued to live because it's not like it's not like it's not like a problem of when he was born. When it comes to Luffy, it's not a problem of when he was born. He could have, if he wouldn't have had whatever killed him, if Roger wouldn't have whatever killed him, he could have actually still lived to see Luffy. You know what I'm saying? He could have still existed to experience the current Joy Boy. But it's just he died too early, you know. So I don't think, you know what I mean? I think if he was talking about Luffy, he could have said something different at the end of the day. Best Jen says, and shout out to Best Jen as well. Welcome to the stream. He says, "LO, I had the same argument when I have reacted to his video. For me, Roger's line prove he talks about the past. What's up, by the way? Hey, man. Hey, man, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm back streaming. I was going for I was going for a week, like a week and a half almost, and you know I'm moving and everything. I'm in my new spot. You know, it's a little bit downsized, but it's all good. It's all good. And the Angel said he knew he had a sickness, and if he was born at the same time Luffy was, he could witness everything firsthand. But I get he had the sickness, and that's why I said if, because he obviously knew he was going to die, right? He knew he was going to die. You say he knew he had the sickness, right? So instead of saying I wish I'd be born in your time to somebody he could actually continue live to see, he would have more likely said I wish I could live, or I wish I could have been able to live to see your time or whatever. Because it's not like they were born in vastly different time periods. You know what I'm saying? Roger was born in an era where in the same era Luffy was pretty much existed. It's just Roger just died before, like if Roger naturally lived out if he lived and wasn't sick, if he wasn't sick and he lived a natural life, he would have seen Luffy. He would have most likely existed at the same time as Luffy. He just died early. So it wasn't, what I'm saying is it's not a birth problem. It's him just dying too quick. So I think a better thing to say, you know, if he was referencing Luffy, is I wish I can live to see you, Joy Boy. Best Jen saying Odin never referenced Joy Boy in the future, didn't he? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't recall if he ever did. Right, looks different. Let's go. And they say, glad you are streaming on these hours. Perfect for me. Are the noun the usual, or is this an exception? Well, right now, well, I just, like I said, I just moved, and I moved back. I changed time zones, so now the time is a little earlier, I guess. I'm like 2 hours behind, I guess. You know, so I figured right now it's 12 o'clock where I'm at, and I kind of like this time, so I'm shooting to keep it around this time, like 12 o'clock my time, and that's what time it is now. So yeah, I changed it purposely because yeah, I just wanted to try something different. I like this time, you know, I like this time. So this will most likely be my new streaming time. Either this or 1 o'clock. Like right now it's 12 p.m. Sometimes I might do 1 p.m. I don't know. You know, I might experiment. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I'm looking to shoot around this time though. Let's continue.
What is the truth? Wouldn't the truth of the world be the One Piece? This may seem kind of confusing right now, but you'll see where this all leads to later on. Apparently, it is true that someone will be born and surpass the Roger Pirates. Roger then says that they were just too early. The impression I get off of this quote is that he wishes he was born in a different era and in a later timeline, just like how he said he wishes he could have been born in the same era as Joy Boy. Roger was too early to actually see Joy Boy, but he at least was able to see the tale of laughter. He was able to hear about what happens in the future, but actually couldn't see it with his own eyes. With all that being said, we the readers are currently witnessing a part of the history and a part of the One Piece with our own eyes. We are witnessing what was supposed to happen in the future at the time of the Ancient Kingdom and at the time Roger read it. All this future Joy Boy and prophecy stuff makes me think about Fishman Island. In Fishman Island, we see that Robin read an apology letter from Joy Boy to the island itself. King Neptune says that the letter is addressed to the mermaid princess who lived on Fishman Island at the time. It is an apology for not being able to accomplish a promise that he made with the island. This promise will apparently be fulfilled by another individual in Joy Boy's place, or maybe that individual actually is Joy Boy himself, according to the prophecy and Zunisha. This prophecy yet again proves that some things may have already happened even though they're in the future. Now, how did the people of the past already know what would take place 800 years from then? Well, we see in chapter 610 that Madame Shirley can predict the future. She's already predicted things like the war at Marineford, Whitebeard's death, and even the Great Pirate Era. She also predicts that Luffy will destroy Fishman Island, which hasn't happened yet. This most likely has something to do with the promise that Joy Boy made and the prophecy that someone will take his place to fulfill his wish. This all proves that the people of the past were able to see what would take place in the future, and they wrote it down on the last island. Another thing with predicting the future would be future sight. Katakuri's advanced observation haki shows us that he can see something that will happen a few seconds before it already did. By the time it actually happens, to him it is in the past instead of the present. He is literally ahead of his time, kind of like how the ancient people were also ahead of their time. Try to keep in mind that if something already happened in the future, in some way it is history waiting to be occurred. The future is the key to the One Piece, and now we'll talk about how it relates to the Dawn.
Yeah, I believe Madam Shirley definitely has future sight haki. Angel said, let's just wait for the future. Let me ask you something, Angel. Do you think Luffy is Joy Boy? And then Best Jen says, feels amazing, man. LFG. Yeah, man. I like this time, man. It's early. It's early for me, so I could do my streams, and then like I could still have pretty much a good part of my day free. So I kind of like this. You know, I kind of like this now. You know, it's a good time. I'm definitely thinking of keeping this time. Yeah, let's continue.
So now that you know the basis of my theory, let's talk about what the One Piece actually is and what you learn when you reach that point. Before we get to the physical treasure itself, let's talk about something that you learn when you reach the last island. According to Odin, in 20 years there will likely be a massive war that will split the seas themselves. Notice how he wrote this and then right after said in other words, in another 20 years the primary figures of this great war will muscle their way into the New World. So basically, Odin already knew that the primary figures of Luffy, Kid, and Law would go into the New World to cause chaos. Now, we haven't seen the huge war itself yet, but it is coming and these three with their crews will be the primary figures. Notice how right after this, Odin then writes that these are the ones who can strike down Kaido. So how detailed is the future telling of the One Piece? It seems that it's 100%.
Angel said, I'd ask if you'd asked me a few weeks ago, I would say no, but now, yes, there are two Joy Boys and Luffy is one of them. So, if that's the case, if Luffy is Joy Boy, then how, like, I don't get the argument against what Zunisha said. If Zunisha said Joy Boy's return, and then you're sitting here telling me Luffy is Joy Boy, so is Luffy Joy Boy or not? Was Zunisha not talking about Luffy or not? What's up? You can't say Zunisha wasn't talking about Luffy and then say Luffy is Joy Boy. Then Zunisha should have been talking about Luffy, right? That's what I would think. You know, it seems a little conflicting. Is all I'm saying. It seems a little conflicting because just a minute ago, you was just capping that Zunisha wasn't even talking about Luffy. Just a minute ago, you was like, yeah, man, Zunisha. Hey, look at this. But now you saying Luffy's Joy Boy. So which is it? Is Luffy not Joy Boy or is he Joy Boy? Is he Joy Boy or is he not? Was Zunisha not talking about Luffy? And is Luffy not Joy Boy? Or was Zunisha talking about Luffy and Luffy is Joy Boy? Angel said Luffy is a different Joy Boy, not the Joy Boy Zunisha. Oh man, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now we being technical. Well, of course he's not physically the same Joy Boy, but he is Joy Boy. He is Joy Boy. You know. I was like let's continue, man. I don't even know what you're talking about, man. I don't even know Luffy is his own Joy Boy. Okay, Angel. All right.
Accurate as of right now, since Odin already knew that Joy Boy would come to Wano in the exact year that he came. He even wanted to open up Wano's borders to be able to welcome his return, but failed to do so. Isn't it kind of funny and ironic that even though Wano's borders didn't open up, Joy Boy himself still barged his way through to save his friends? Another thing that we see in this flashback of Odin is that he learns that his wife came searching from 800 years ago for the day that the world is overturned. Now, this is interesting because it shows that apparently many people from that era knew about a prophecy that took place, which is the day that the world is flipped. Odin then tells his wife to jump 20 years into the future if she wants to see it. 20 years is a very exact timeline. Like, why not 10 years, or 15, or 30, or 40?
Angel said Luffy is his own Joy Boy. I think you're just being super what's the word? Like, you're being like super technical. Like when we say Joy Boy, we're not talking about like when I say he's Joy Boy, and when a lot of people say he's Joy Boy, we're not talking about like he's literally the same specific individual from back in the ancient kingdom. That's not what we're talking about. We just saying Luffy is Joy Boy as if it was like a, let's say a code name or a will. Like he is the inheritor of the Joy Boy will, making him Joy Boy. Like that's what we mean. You're just being super, like you're arguing technicalities almost. Like, well, it's two Joy Boy. That's not the argument, man. I feel like you get what we saying, but you're just being super technical about it. Adam says something I think is crazier. and is on the crazier end. If Joy Boy's heart was a kick drum, like an artificial heart, I think that would make what Zunisha said about hearing the same heartbeat sound from Luffy fit. Both like 10 men with fake hearts, and perhaps the very same heart. Adam, man, you be getting super technical and stuff, man. Like you gotta like overset, like break down your explanations Barney style. You know what I mean? It's like the 7 Hokage. Let's continue.
Specifically says 20, and that is the exact year that Luffy shows up with Lord Wano. In the final part of Oden's journal or letter, he writes to Toki and says, I want you to use your power, Toki, if I should die, and cast 9 shadows on the night woven of 20 years, and you shall know the brilliance of the dawn. Notice how he specifically used the verb woven, the night woven of 20 years. Is he hinting that the men who weave history wove the prophecy of the night that should take place in 20 years, which is the night that we are currently witnessing for ourselves? Remember before how I said that the Kozuki clan not only weaves the past history, but the whole history. If the future already happened, then it's an even further future's history. They weave all history, not just what they lived through, and this Oden quote is direct evidence of this. The other important part to dissect from this quote is you shall know the brilliance of the dawn. The dawn isn't only the key to everything, but it is everything. Just wait a bit to see what I mean. We also see Toki saying out loud, you are the moon unaware of the dawn. What is the dawn? I mean, it seems to be significant enough for Toki to say on her alleged final words, and for Oden to write to his wife on his final days. Also, what I'm about to tell you, I was gonna put in my video of how I believe Luffy will win when the sun rises. I was originally gonna make a theory on that, and this section of the dawn was gonna be included in it, but I completely went down a giant rabbit hole of possibly figuring out the One Piece. Let me know if you want that theory next, and remember to like and subscribe with notifications on if you want future videos like this one. So going back to Toki and her quote, what could the dawn possibly be? Before we get to what the dawn is, I think it's better to explain what the moon is, more specifically the moon that is unaware of the dawn itself. I believe the moon is supposed to be interpreted as Wano. She is talking to the whole land of Wano and its people. Altogether, both land and people, they are the moon. Now you may ask, how can this be? Well, think about it. The whole land of Wano and its people use the main symbol of a crescent moon. We see the people of the rebellion have a crescent moon tattoo on their ankles. The symbol for Wano and its rebellion is the crescent moon in between what looks like swans and a snake. Not only this, but another big hint would be that Wano's theme is called Moon Princess. We see Hiyori play this throughout all of Wano, and that name makes me think that she is in fact the Moon Princess. Either that, or she will one day be the Moon Princess after they defeat Kaido. The moon is Wano, and the princess is Hiyori. Therefore, Oda is trying to say that she is the princess of Wano. Another big hint with Wano being the moon is that it's called Wano. Wano sounds a lot like wane or waning, which is a term used to describe the moon becoming smaller in size, or to simply put it, when it goes from being a full moon to a crescent moon. All these things are really good hints, so I truly think Oda meant to put all these details on purpose. Now that you understand why I believe Wano is the moon, take another look at the line, you are the moon unaware of the dawn, may your purpose be fulfilled. Wano and its people are unaware of the dawn which Joy Boy brings, and their purposes may be fulfilled. Wano's purpose could be the opening of their borders after having them closed for such a long time. Oden even says that up until him seeing the One Piece, there was no purpose for Wano's borders to be closed. The moon's or Wano's purpose was to protect the land from outside forces for an
I wonder how that's going to play out with Momonosuke, right? Like Odin wrote about how Wano need to open up its borders, but now we're kind of seeing Momonosuke finally take that step into being the leader, being the shogun of Wano. And he kind of fights in his head, about whether he should open the borders of Wano, right? And I think one of the last times he actually talked about opening the borders, he said he wasn't going to open the borders, at least until it was time, right? At least until the right time. So So I mean, I guess he still is going to open the borders. It's just he's not going to open them right away, which is smart, right? Which is smart. So I get it, and this is why I kind of like Momo. This is why I like Momonosuke, because he's not just blindly following his father's will, right? Like he knows that he knows that Odin, wanted to open these borders, but he's not. He's thinking of it as an actual leader. Like I think the biggest flaw with Odin was he he had certain goals and things, but he didn't always look at things from a how does it help the bigger picture of at least Wano, of my home country, right? Like when he left Wano, he didn't think like, oh, he wasn't considered like what could happen to Wano if I leave, right? He didn't think about that. Now I'm not gonna lie, like I don't think anybody could have truly predicted that Kaido and Orochi was gonna come in and do what they did, but still, right? Still, you're the heir to a country, so should you just be leaving like that? I don't know, but we know he wanted to open up the country for whatever reason. Things that he learned and discovered on his journey, right? But that's why you got Momonosuke kind of looking at it at like, look, I get that my father wanted these borders open. I get it. But is that the correct decision? And then he goes from that to, you know what, maybe we'll open the borders when we find the right time. Because I don't want to open it now and leave my country open to some other dangers, especially while Wano rebuilds, right? Why it recovers from all the damage that Kaido and Orochi did to it. So, it would make sense. It would make sense that I like how Momonosuke is not just quick to just say, okay, let's open the borders, And he even and pretty much told Zunisha like, look, we'll do this later, some other time, not right now. And Zunisha like, okay, if that's what you order, cool. Adam says, LOL, I'm saying that the heart inside Luffy is the same exact heart from Joy Boy, like passed down literally. I don't know if I say it's the heart, but I think Luffy carries the will of Joy Boy. I think that's all it is. Like everything Angel's Room is talking, like everything Angel, I think it's kind of irrelevant. I'm not saying, I never said that Joy Boy is like, Joy Boy's soul is controlling Luffy or anything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying Luffy is just the inheritor of the will. He carries the will of Joy Boy. And in a sense, that's what makes him Joy Boy. You know what I'm saying? So when Zunisha said, hey, Joy Boy has returned, he was talking specifically about Luffy, but Luffy pretty much, I guess, really awakening this will, right? Like him awakening, because we never seen Luffy in this specific aspect. Like after Luffy was on death's door from Kaido, he kind of went through a transformation. He went through an evolution. And then after this evolution of Luffy, that's pretty much when Zunisha was like, hey, Joy Boy has returned. And I think that evolution, like we don't really have real answers of what happened. You know what I'm saying? But I pretty much believe that Luffy is the inheritor of wills. I think the story always emphasizes inheriting wills, right? Like you could look at some of my previous streams. You could go back, look at like when I did like the Reddit theories back. I want to say around December. I did like Reddit theories, and you go watch those streams. Big emphasis. Those streams have a heavy emphasis on inherited wills, and the story itself talks about inherited wills. So, that's what I'll say. Angel says, funny thing is Rayleigh says that the Roger Pirates were being too hasty. It was more of the drum beat than Luffy's Gear 5. I'm not sure how that's relevant, but okay. Let's continue.
800-year span until Joy Boy returned.
It's what I talk about when you try to argue specifics. I'm not talking about the drum beat, or me saying Gear 5 is not even really that prevalent to the point I was making. I was talking about when Luffy accessed Gear 5, like that specific moment. I'm just talking about that. I'm referencing that specific moment and what happened. There was a change in Luffy that there was a transformation within Luffy. I'm not talking about the Gear 5 transformation. I'm talking about there was a change in him. But let's continue.
The purpose is fulfilled after the people of Wano stayed safe all those years and after Joy Boy himself arrives. Once Luffy wins, he, Yamato, and Momo will open the borders together to fulfill it. Now that we have a better understanding of this cryptic quote, what does the Dawn symbolize? Not only in this line, but throughout all of One Piece. We currently see the Dawn being brought up throughout the series, and Oda even wanted to name his manga Romance Dawn. So what could the Dawn even be, or even mean? The Dawn itself has begun ever since Luffy started his journey. In fact, the Dawn is Luffy's story itself. There are two main definitions of the word Dawn, and the first one is the one that most people think of when they hear the word, which is the first appearance of light in the sky before sunrise. This definition symbolizes Luffy's journey as a whole because everywhere he goes, he is figuratively the first appearance of light before the sunrise of their country or of the kingdom. Before he gets to an island, the people are usually sunken in some sort of darkness or evilness, and many times even enslavement. When Luffy shows up, he is the light that frees the people and the light that shows the way to freedom. He is liberation itself and is the dawn that shows up right before the light of liberation frees the people to their ultimate happiness and rightfulness. Everywhere he goes, he brings the dawn. Therefore, his journey that we have been watching this whole time is the dawn itself. The first volume of One Piece is even called Romance Dawn, hinting that since the first chapter, that is what the story is. Oda even called his preview of One Piece Romance Dawn because it truly is such an important factor to the story. In Wano, the people even refer to themselves as receiving a divine punishment, which would be an eternal night that never breaks. This night will be broken by the dawn, or should I say Luffy and his story. Luffy and his story itself is the dawn that Roger and Oden learned about at the One Piece. Okay, so now for the second definition of dawn. The second definition is the beginning of a phenomenon or period of time, especially one considered favorable. This definition proves that the very beginning of Luffy's journey was the dawn of his period of time in the Grand Line. The beginning of the story is the beginning of a certain period of time. That dawn was only for the Grand Line, and there was in fact another one in the New World. Since Luffy and his journey took a 2-year break, the dawn also took a 2-year break as well. Chapter 601 is called Romance Dawn for the New World. This is the return of the dawn, or the second dawn, or simply what it's called, which is the dawn for the New World. This is the dawn that Oden saw in his prophecy that will take place in 20 years. The dawn started back up when Luffy's story started back up, and now the dawn is going to shed its light in Wano before the eternal light of the everlasting day comes. This chapter of 601 ends with Luffy telling Ray Lee he's going to become the king of the pirates, which shows that the dawn is the journey of him becoming it. Once he becomes it, the dawn of the world will have already happened or arrived. This also makes me think, if Oden, Roger, and the Straw Hats learn about this dawn, or this tale of Luffy, maybe that's why Luffy wants to be free. Now, you may say, what does this have to do with anything? Well, think about it. Why would Luffy want to be the most free? What does that even mean, honestly? I mean, we don't see anyone else throughout the whole story with a dream to be the most free man. Even if they want to become the Pirate King just like Luffy, they don't want to do it for that reason. You see, Luffy might want to be the most free man because of one simple thing. That simple reason for Luffy wanting to be the freest man would be because he isn't. That's right, what if Monkey D. Luffy isn't free? At least, not yet. Could he be directly tied to a story of fate, and deep down he knows that luck favors his side for a certain reason? Deep down, maybe it's something within his devil fruit, or within his soul, but could he somehow know and feel that he isn't a free man? Although he is known to be a liberator and have the drums of liberation, he himself could be a slave to his own destiny, which already happened in a history that hasn't been told yet. Maybe he needs to find the One Piece, liberate the world, and spread the dawn to finally be released from his spell and truly be free.
That's a good point. Like, is Luffy truly free if he's tied to fate or a destiny, right? Like, can someone if you're tied to fate, can you truly be free, right? Because it's like a train, right? Like fate is almost like train tracks, and you're a train, right? Like it don't like you're just kind of on this train tracks of fate, and you're going to ride it, and yes, you may turn, but you think you're making that decision to turn, but it's really fate just turning you, right? So every decision you make is just part of fate. So I don't know if you could really consider yourself free if you're so closely tied to fate. Angel said Roger, pirates, and people of Ohio were being too hasty when came to finding out the history. Yeah, but you can't ignore the reasoning to why she says it. I'm not ignoring it. It just wasn't relevant to what I was saying. And then Angel said, I just think Zunisha is a bad character to use as evidence since she never calls Luffy Joy Boy, but maybe she will in the future. We'll just have to wait. Again, I'm not ignoring what you said. It just wasn't relevant to the point that I was saying. I'm not like, you can't just give me stuff to talk about and that's kind of irrelevant to my point and then tell me it's relevant. It wasn't relevant. Sorry. It just wasn't. Let's continue.
コラさん、俺はやっぱりこの数奇な運命の意味を知りてえ。
Going back to the Dawn and how it's the term used for Luffy's story, let's take a quick look at a couple of lines from Bing Sake. In this sea shanty, there are the lyrics, stormy winds are blowing wide, waves are dancing, evening comes, it's time to sound the drums. I believe this represents the end of the original Joy Boys era. As the evening comes, it's time to sound the drums. The evening represents the sunset, which is the end of the original Joy Boys story or era. As the sun starts to set, it's time to sound the drums. It's time to become Joy Boy or his awakening and fight the celestial dragons. After these lyrics, the next one seems to be about Luffy and the Dawn. But steady men and never fear. Tomorrow's skies are always clear. So pound your feet and clap your hands till sunny days return. These lines are directed to all the people of the ancient kingdom and the people that carry their wills 800 years later. Steady men never fear. Tomorrow's skies are always clear. Whoever wrote the song is telling people to not fear anything because tomorrow the skies are always clear. By tomorrow they mean the next era of Joy Boy. Right now the whole world is living under an 800-year night that is slowly coming to an end. The sun god is coming back to bring the day back to the world. The next lines are, so pound your feet.
It's kind of like what I want to say Best Generation has talked about with he talking about, like, I guess the One Piece history kind of have cycles, right? Where you have the sun cycle and then you have the moon cycle, I guess. And right now we've been in the moon cycle, kind of talking about like the dawn, like the dawn of the moon or whatever. Man, like, and I agree with Preach, like the whole dawn reference and the moon references, just all through One Piece. You could go all through One Piece and it's very relevant on like so many different levels, But yeah, let's continue.
And clap your hands till sunny days return. Maybe this means to make the sounds of the drum until the sunny days return. I mean, what else would people in One Piece do by pounding their feet and clapping their hands except sounding the drums of liberation? By now, the whole world has forgotten the beat of liberation since the world government erased it from history, but as Luffy returns to lead the Dawn, I bet you will see armies of people stomping and clapping to Luffy's heartbeat in a near future arc. Once Luffy finds the One Piece, it will be the final piece of proof to the world of the whole truth. As Bing Sake said, the sunny days are returning and what has to come before a sunny day does? That's right, the Dawn. The Dawn is referring to only Luffy's story up until the point he defeats the celestial dragons. After that, the sunny day or sunny noon will last forever. The original Joy Boy story is represented by the dusk or by the sunset, since we know that the sun god died, which led to the Night of the World Noble's rulership. With all this being said, don't get confused with the different Joy Boys eras because I believe it's a key that Luffy's era is the only one that's referred to the Dawn. If the Dawn is Luffy's journey or story itself, Then what is the romance Dawn? Since we already have an idea as to what the Dawn is, what is the romance? Well, what if I told you that Oda already told us exactly what it is in Skypiea? As the Straw Hats are heading out to sea to be shot up by the knockup stream, we see Mont Blanc Cricket say one last thing before heading up to their journey. He says, "No one in history has ever disproved the City of Gold or the Sky Island. People might laugh and call it foolish logic, but it's enough for me. That's what romanticism is all about." So basically to Oda, romanticism is believing in something. Cricket believes that the Sky Island and City of Gold are real, even though he's never seen it with his own eyes. By the way, check out his sun tattoo, you know, Romance Dawn. To prove even more that this has to do with Romance Dawn, let's take a look at.
He was part of the Sun Pirates. Nah, I'm joking. He wasn't part of no Sun Pirates. But Adam says Shimoski means 11th month in the lunar cycle in part. No, that's interesting. So 11th month in the lunar would be what, like November? Well, at least in the US it'd be November. I'm not too sure in Japan. I mean, I guess Japan. I don't know Japan's calendar, how they call their months, and like what the I don't really know how that would pertain to Japan, I guess. But yeah, I mean, cool fact. I don't really know what to do with that, but I mean, maybe you got a better theory than I got with the whole Shimoski 11th month. I don't know what to do with that information, but that definitely is interesting information that I never actually knew, you know. And I'm pretty sure it means something. I just don't know what it means, you know. Like maybe it has some deeper meaning within the story. And Angel said, "I like what he's saying." Yeah, he's saying he's spitting some stuff, man. He's spitting some stuff. Let's continue.
At the cover page of this chapter that Cricket says this. Notice how the sun is rising. The cover page for the chapter that we learn what romance means shows us the dawn. Another little detail is that we can see two signs of suns on the treehouse. This is Oda telling us symbolically that romanticism is tied to the dawn. This cover page had details hidden in plain sight with Mont Blanc's most important quote. This quote all ties back to Luffy, as we even see him say romanticism as if he likes the term and thought of it. Luffy's dream of finding the One Piece is romantic because he doesn't know if it's real or not, and he doesn't want to know until he finds it. In Sabaody arc, we even see that Luffy yells at Usopp for even asking if the One Piece is real. He doesn't want to know where it is, what it is, or if it is, because that would ruin the whole romantic idea of believing in something. At the end of Skypiea, we get a reference that ties back to the beginning of the arc story.
It's kind of like when people call themselves like hopeless romantics, right? They're hopeless romantics. Like people like that usually tend to they're like in love with this idea of being in love, I guess. You know, like they just want to be in a relationship where they're just in love. Like hopeless romantics tend to be like they watch a lot of Disney movies, and where it's like the prince sweeping the princess off his feet, and they just want some type of relationship like that, even though it's like not necessarily realistic to real life. But you know, it's more of a fantasy. Like it's like you got, you know, you're in love with this idea with a fantasy. So it does make sense, you know, when you look at Luffy, he's in love with the idea of being a pirate king and being free. The idea of being the freest man on the sea, and the idea of finding the One Piece, whatever it is. It again, it may not exist. And when I say it may not exist, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. Like I think we know as fans, as you know, we know that Oda created a One Piece, or that it does exist. But I'm just talking about like living in the world of One Piece. You know, like, you know, you look at it, it may not exist. You know, it may just be a fool's errand or whatever. But yeah, so yeah, like, you know, Luffy loves that idea of becoming a pirate king and everything. But let's continue.
The last chapter of Skypiea has a narration that says, "The sky that you see when you look upon a whim, is it a dream? Is it real? The country of the Kami above the clouds, 10,000 meters up in the far distant sky. If you listen closely, you can hear the sound of a bell. It's ringing today, it will ring again tomorrow. The sound of the bell echoing through the sky sings the praises of this wandering land." This ties back to the whole idea of romanticism because it's going back to saying how this dreamland is real as long as you believe. It also says how if you listen closely, meaning that if you are intently listening, you can hear the sound of a bell. Only those that believe in the land that exists in the sky can hear it. In the next chapter, we even see Mont Blanc thank his monkey friends for sticking with him and his silly dream. The dream itself is what romanticism represents because it's only a dream and nothing else. He believed the city of gold was real even though he never actually found it, just like how Luffy believes the One Piece is real even though he has never found it thus far. Now, so back to the title of Romance Dawn, I believe it simply means believing in the dawn. For generations and generations, people have believed that the dawn will one day come. The people of the past believed in the dawn, Odin did, and so did Toki. Even though they may not see it firsthand, they still believe that the dawn is real and that it'll come through one day. They believe that Luffy and his story will come one day to be the dawn and lead the dawn. This is why Oda wanted to originally title One Piece Romance Dawn, because the Romance Dawn is a story of believing in Luffy's story. Us the readers believe the dawn will come, ironically, as we read the dawn. Now, I could go deeper into what romanticism is and how it's portrayed throughout One Piece, but this pretty much gives you a clear idea of what the Romance Dawn as a whole means. With all this being said, let's finally discuss what the One Piece actually is.
Let's see. Angel's Room. You said, to be honest, argument earlier was just me being arrogant. Sorry for the pointless argument. Either way, we agree with the same thing. Yeah, man, it's just, and I wasn't disagreeing with you. It's just, I think you was kind of focusing on some of the like super small technicalities of I guess some of my points. It's all good. It's just, I kind of gotta move on. I can't like focus too much on one specific argument like the whole stream, especially when I gotta focus on this video and everything. So I kind of gotta move on. I can't like sit there and debate singular small points. You know what I'm saying? I can't sit there and debate every singular small point. You know, while I stream and I gotta respond to other folks. So I'm you good. I'm not mad or nothing. You good. It's all good. I get it. You know, I'm just saying. You know, I gotta move on. So if I'm kind of dismissive, it's just because I can't sit here and, you know, now if you want to debate, we could debate in the Discord. Like if you really want to debate, we could do like a voice chat debate or whatever. Cool. You know what I'm saying? We could do that in the Discord. But as far as the stream, I kind of gotta try to, I gotta keep up with what I'm talking with what's being talked about in the stream. That's it. So I kind of gotta move on certain topics, you know what I'm saying? Jay Franklin, I don't know why you here. Go somewhere. Go somewhere else, fool. No, I'm joking. But Adam says, so actually Hopeless Romantic comes from the Don Quixote novel too. Don Quixote, you mean Don Flamingo? Or like Don Flamingo got a novel? Or you talk, or Don Quixote novel. What you talking about, huh? I'm not familiar with that. Let's continue.
What is the One Piece? What if I told you that Oda has hinted to what it is throughout the whole story and that everything that I've gone over so far is tied to it? Oda's hinted at it so many times and it's probably gonna make you laugh considering how epic yet funny it is. Remember how I said earlier that I believe when Roger said he wished he could have lived in Joy Boy's era that he was referring to Luffy? I also believe he was referring to Luffy because he says that they were just a little too early in finding the treasure. He knows it's not his time or his doing to turn the world upside down, but actually someone else's. Moses, who goes by the name of Joy Boy. We also see that everyone who knew what the One Piece was brings up events coming in the future. Odin, just like Roger, can't wait for Joy Boy's return in Wano. Whitebeard tells Sengoku how he already knows someone will find the treasure, and that will turn the world upside down. Ray Lee says how destiny goes on and that Luffy has grown into a man even more worthy of the hat. He also says how it might not be a bad thing to live a little longer, showing that he wants to witness something that Luffy will do in the near future. So all four men who knew what the One Piece is don't bring up the past, but instead bring up the future. Not only that, but they all bring up how something is destined to happen to a specific individual that will change the world. Why would they all bring up a future event but not the past? Also, why are they so excited for what's coming in the future? Maybe because the treasure itself isn't just ancient history which will teach you the truth, but the core part of it is something that will happen later on. By the way, I know we've been talking about this sort of thing the whole video, but I thought it would be good to bring these panels back up because I believe they all foreshadowed what the One Piece actually was in these exact lines. So now, to answer the big questions that you've all been waiting for, what is the One Piece that will bring everyone together? What is the One Piece that will turn the world upside down? What is the One Piece that can only be accessed during a certain timeline? What made Roger and his crew laugh? How is the One Piece hinted at in the very logo of the entire series?
You know something, I kind of want to talk about his point. He said, like, can that One Piece only be accessed a certain time? I don't necessarily believe that is the case. I think why Roger was too early, like what made Roger early, was he didn't live during the time of Shirahoshi and the ancient weapons, right? Like I think the One Piece is closely tied with the ancient weapons. And if it is, that would mean that Shirahoshi wasn't born when Roger existed. So he was too early to really exist around the time of Shirahoshi, who is an ancient weapon that we know is Poseidon, the ancient weapon. So I think the fact that he was like Shirahoshi didn't exist at the time, he couldn't really do nothing. There was nothing he could really do. I think I personally think that's the purpose of why he said we are too early. I don't think actually like finding the One Piece or accessing the One Piece or I don't think that is relative to time or anything. I think it's more he was too early because remember he talked to King Neptune, I think before he was a king though. He talked to Neptune about and Neptune was telling him about his daughter or whatever, and that she would be born or I guess they was talking about his daughter, and then he also talked to Madame Shirley and Madame Shirley pretty much said, look, you know, the mermaid princess won't be born to this time specifically. And that was just way after Roger would have died, you know. So I think whatever it is with the One Piece, all the ancient weapons are pretty much necessary. Like they're necessary to be around at the same time, especially for the One Piece to be effective at whatever it is, you know. And Shirahoshi just wasn't born at that time, you know. So I kind of think that's what it is. Adam says, Jay says Don Quixote, famous Spanish books. At least you good for something. You're good for something. Adam says it is the first modern novel, just kind of a crazy book. My first vid will explain it later. Okay, looking forward to learning more. Let's continue.
Overall, what is the One Piece? Well, you see, the One Piece can be one thing and one thing only. The One Piece is Luffy. Luffy is the One Piece that is slowly and surely bringing everyone in the world back together. Luffy is the One Piece that will turn the world upside down.
I don't know if I agree with this. I'm gonna let him state his case. But I don't know if I agree with it. Cause You're telling me when Roger said he left his treasure in one piece on Laugh Tale. You know, the famous saying that pretty much started everything. You're telling me he left Luffy. That's what you're telling me. Luffy, who wasn't even born at that time. You know, I mean, and I guess you can sit here and argue that yes, there was a treasure that he did leave on a certain island, but the actual, I guess I'm just trying to put this in my head, right? Because I kind of feel as though I can see where he's going with this. Like maybe think of it like this. The One Piece is a door or something, and Luffy is the key to the One Piece. Like if that's the argument, I guess I can understand. But the actual treasure itself, at least the treasure named the One Piece, I don't think I would consider that Luffy. I don't know. Let me give him a chance to explain himself. Maybe he could really make this whole thing make sense. Angel said, I also like how Rayleigh talks about the past. Like it doesn't really matter since they can do anything about it. Yeah. Yeah. Guys, let me take a quick break real quick, you know, because we're like halfway into this video and I kind of got to use the bathroom. So we're going to take a quick break. I will be right back. And yeah, we could continue this conversation. But just stay with me. All right, we back. Angel says he doesn't even say the One Piece is there. He just says all his treasure is there. Can't. The people of the world say the One Piece is there, but I don't think Roger ever said that. Well, what I'm saying is, there is a treasure. There is a treasure that Roger left at the Laugh Tale, right? Like, and you're right. I'm not going to argue that he didn't say it. You're right, because I know that. But there is a treasure that Roger specifically left at Laugh Tale, right? And we know that he's seen something at Laugh Tale as well that blew his mind or whatever, you know. So there's something I would say tangible. There is a treasure at Laugh Tale that was left by Roger that pretty much he said in the speech that that got everything going, right? That sparked this whole series, right? And that's pretty much what everybody's going after. So I'm talking about that specific treasure. Like what that specific treasure is that he left at Laugh Tale. Because it couldn't have been Luffy. Luffy didn't even exist at that point. You know what I'm saying? Now I could see the argument being Luffy is necessary for the One Piece. I can see that, but him actually being the One Piece when the One Piece has always been implied to be being what Roger left at that island, right? So again, if Roger never said anything about One Piece, then what is this One Piece that people are talking about? Like who created the concept of the One Piece? Who called it the One Piece? You know what I'm saying? It's like there had to be something at the island at Laugh Tale. There had to be something at Laugh Tale that Roger seen, left, and then when he got executed, he was like, "Hey, I left that specific thing at Laugh Tale. That's what I left." And then everybody else start calling it the One Piece. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying whatever that thing is not Luffy. You know what I mean? Like that's all I'm saying. Like Luffy could be important to it. You know what I'm saying? So whatever that thing that was left at Laugh Tale, that's what people start calling the One Piece. You know what I mean? And Luffy, that wasn't Luffy. So like that's kind of my argument right there. That's why I don't get how Luffy could be the One Piece when it's like the One Piece is whatever people consider the One Piece with the treasure that Roger left in Laugh Tale. Roger never left Luffy at Laugh Tale. The people of the world say the One Piece is there, but I don't think Roger has ever said that. And Rayleigh never gets to answer it. If the Roger says, my treasure is at the something, like my treasure is there, or I left my treasure all in one piece. That's what Roger says. I left my treasure all in one piece at this at a secret location or whatever. I mean, that's not the exact words he used, but paraphrasing, right? So we know that Roger left something there. There is something that Roger left there. And that's what people start calling, that's what like the people start calling the One Piece, the treasure that was left by Goldie Roger. And what I'm saying is that wasn't Luffy. Whatever he left at Laugh Tale that people are calling the One Piece is not Luffy. That's all. Like that's what I'm saying. Now I could see if the argument is I could see if the argument is Luffy is needed in order to activate whatever the treasure is or have access to it. I get that. Adam says I thought they found it. Yeah, they found something. There's something that was found and there was something that was left. Angel says, by the way, I don't know if I agree with Luffy equaling a One Piece. I just want to defend it. Adam says the world, and that's fine, but I like again, you know, I don't really think that's much to defend. You know, at least that aspect of it. You know, he said Angel's Room, it was called the One Piece before he even died. Something was called the One Piece before he died. No, he says all in one place. I again, you're arguing technicalities. He said I left. And even if he said that, that still doesn't disprove what I'm saying though. He left something all in one place. There was something that when he inspired everybody to go find the One Piece, when he said, like, when he inspired people to go find whatever this treasure is, and then they start calling it the One Piece, it was still something that was left there, right? And during the time that Luffy didn't exist. So whatever this thing is that people consider the One Piece that is left at Laugh-Tao or Laugh-To, you know, that was left there, that is not Luffy. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're arguing Luffy is the One Piece and the One Piece isn't at Laugh-Tao, you know, because Roger never said that he left the One Piece in Laugh-Tao. If that's your argument, I get that. But what I'm saying is the treasure that people consider the One Piece, right? That is the treasure that everybody in the story is going after. They're trying to find Laugh-Tao for. That specific treasure is not Luffy. That specific treasure is something else that we need to figure out what that treasure is. You know, that's what I'm saying. Because that's not Luffy. That's something he actually left in one place. You know. Thunder? Thundering out there, or somebody moving something? I don't know. Adam says, isn't it crazy how there are literally 100 different translations of that first page of manga and all of them are different? Yeah, that is, hey man. And that's the great thing about One Piece is just everybody gets something different out of everything. Like we sitting here arguing semantics. That's the word I'll be looking. That's the word I'll be trying to use with Angel is semantics. Like you are like it's semantics that you're arguing. Not technicalities. I meant semantics. Yeah, like a lot of people. Yeah, it's wild. Like the people come up with different ideas. You know, we all get something different, right? Wouldn't Odin mention leaving something in his journal? And then Angel Room said, by the way, the One Piece isn't even Roger's treasure because people say, is it real, the One Piece? And Roger answers saying his treasure is there. And all I'm talking about is the treasure. I'm talking about the treasure that Roger left that everybody considers or everybody calls the One Piece. You know, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Everybody refers to Roger's treasure as the One Piece. And I'm talking about this treasure at this specific island, what that is, you know? Because as far as we know in the series, that's what has been considered the One Piece. That could be completely wrong, and I'll gladly accept that could be wrong, but I'm just going with what we have witnessed and that we've seen and what has been implied in the series as the One Piece. And that's always been this treasure left by Gold D. Roger. You can argue that the One Piece isn't the treasure. That's fine. But as far as we've always following the series, as far as we know, the One Piece is at Laugh-Tao. That's, you know what I'm saying? Luffy even stopped Usopp for asking where it is. It's not 100% at Laugh-Tao. And I'm not saying it is, but you know, we gotta kind of go with what's been implied with the story. You know what I'm saying? It's just like we know Luffy's going to be Pirate King, but Oda can always go left and not make Luffy the Pirate King. You know, it's like, but based off of the story, it's heavily implied that Luffy will become Pirate King. You could say that about anything, pretty much. Like that we don't 100% know anything. We just kind of got to go off of what we know or what we have interpreted this whole time in the story. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just going off of what we know and what we interpreted. Anything else is just speculation. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool, which is fine. That's what we're here to do, is speculate. Adam says, the One Piece, the thing only reachable with the poneglyphs, and Roger never even mentioned them. Personally, what I believe the One Piece is, like, one thing I've been or like what I think the One Piece is, I think it's a plan. I think it's like it's a plan, you know, because it's a plan to pretty much unify the world, turn the world into one piece, right? Because as far as we see, it's a bunch of different pieces that's divided up by the red line and the grand line. So you get rid of those, it's the one piece, right? You turn the world into one piece. I more so think it's more of a plan, a project or something that the ancient kingdom might have created at one point and never actually got to execute. I don't think it's Luffy. I don't even think it's Saki or anything. I do like that theory, the whole theory that he came up with, but I don't think it's Saki or Luffy. But you know, my mind can be changed by the end of this video. Angel says Adam or anime sub and dub say one place. Angel says, from what we know, Roger never answered the question. If it's at Laugh Tale, even the man who said it was real doesn't say where or what it is. And then Adam says, I agree, the all blue in part planet covered in ocean, no land. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there'll be land, there'll be like the islands and stuff, but there won't be like that big, massive land called the Red Line, though. Angel says, only thing we know is at Last Tale 100% is Roger's treasure, history, and Joyboy. And that's all I'm talking about, man. That's all I'm talking about. I'm talking about what everybody expect the One Piece to be. The treasure at the island. Adam says the end of Ragnarok. Yep. Let's continue, though. Let's continue.
Not only turn it upside down, but he is the light that is leading everyone else to flip it with him. Just like how we find out that Poseidon isn't a form of technology, but instead is a natural force in the world, we will also find out that the One Piece itself isn't a technological weapon, but is a force of nature. Luffy or Joyboy is the natural force of liberation that liberates everywhere he goes. Also, just that I'd say before people click off or comment something, yes, I know Luffy himself isn't the vast treasure that Oden and Roger saw at the One Piece, but trust me, we're getting there. First, let me just explain why Luffy is the One Piece that Roger couldn't use to save the world since it wasn't there. Also, try to remember that just because it's called One Piece doesn't necessarily mean that the treasure itself is only one thing. Okay, going back to how Luffy is the One Piece.
And I agree with what he said. I don't believe the treasure is one thing, right? You know, and that's kind of what I said earlier. If you want to say like Luffy is the key to this whole thing, to bringing the world into one piece, I completely agree with that. You know what I'm saying? If that's how you're looking at it, you know, but you know, I think there is something definitely important at that island, you know, that pertains to the One Piece. Like one thing I think it might be like a big old, let's say, golden poneglyph with the instructions on what needs to happen in order to unify the world and turn it into one piece. That's what I think. Let's continue.
So the One Piece is also the thing that many believe will break the Red Line. Well, how do you destroy the Red Line and Mary Joa? I'd assume that you need to use all three ancient weapons plus the One Piece to destroy it. I mean, they do say that they have the power to destroy the world. Luffy and the ancient weapons will literally destroy the old world and make a new one while bringing the dawn. By the end of the series, Luffy will most likely be allied with people that own the ancient weapons or with the ancient weapons themselves. He's already allied with Shirahoshi, Vivi, and Frankie, which leads him to only needing to ally with Uranus. The three ancient weapons will most likely be used to physically destroy the Red Line, while Luffy destroys Mary Joa.
Hey, I'm low key kind of thinking Pluton is a sentient thing as well. Like I kind of believe it's real, or I kind of believe it. All the ancient weapons might be like living beings, I think, and maybe those schematics that we've seen were maybe people trying to recreate recreate Pluton through like actual, you know what I'm saying, like making their own version of Pluton. Because and the reason why I say it is like those schematics, how did they survive from the Void Century? I mean, I guess they could have, maybe if people preserved them, I guess, but are those schematics even from the Void Century? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe again, maybe it's somebody trying to create their own Pluton or something. You know, like maybe Zunisha is Pluton this whole time. You know, or maybe Momonosuke through Zunisha is Pluton. Like him manipulating Zunisha, you know, he has the power to destroy islands. So maybe somebody said, well, I can't manipulate Zunisha, but I could create a ship that could pretty much do everything that Zunisha does, or something along that line. It might not be Zunisha, but I'm just saying, you know. But maybe the ancient weapons are actual sentient beings, because we know Poseidon is an ancient weapon. Uranus, we don't know. You know, there's plenty of theories out there. Some say possibly dragon. I know we kind of joked around, like me and Cube on the channel joked around as Nami because she has weather abilities. You know, I've heard a theory that Uranus is some big machine that could control weather, or it takes giants to operate. You know, but you know, I don't know. Angel says, but yeah, I just find it funny how people went searching for the One Piece, believing Roger confirmed it when he never answered the question, while Luffy is just doing, not caring if it's real or not. I think Luffy the only alive pirate captain who don't care if it's real. Yeah, that kind of plays to Luffy being Luffy though, and why he's Joy Boy, or you know, why he's special compared to everybody else, because his mindset is a lot different than, is not normal, you know. So that gives him the ability to do things that most people can't do, because he doesn't think like your average person. Let's continue.
And the Sunlight Tree Eve. Well, how do you destroy the Sunlight Tree Eve and Mary Joa? Wouldn't you have to destroy Fishman Island? And who did Madame Shirley say would destroy Fishman Island? She said Luffy will. Not just Luffy, but she also said he will do it with his bare hands. If Fishman Island is destroyed, then it'll cause the roots of the Sunlight Tree to be destroyed. Therefore, the Sunlight Tree Eve may die and possibly collapse on Mary Joa. Either that, or its magical sun powers will somehow take away some of the powers of the Celestial Dragons. Luffy, Joy Boy, and Nika are the One Piece that will destroy the Red Line and bring the world back together. The world probably won't be exactly how it was in the past, but I actually think Luffy will make an even better version of it. As he breaks Fishman Island by himself, he will also most likely take down the Red Line with it. The Red Line and Pangaea Castle could fall apart as Fishman Island is destroyed. If the Red Line is destroyed, then it'll bring the whole world back together. It will create the All Blue, and it will destroy the Celestial Dragons' homes. All in all, if Luffy is the One Piece, he'll be the one that gathers up the ancient weapons, which leads to the destruction of the Red Line, which leads to the destruction of the Celestial Dragons, which leads to the All Blue, which leads to the world being brought back to One Piece. I can honestly just imagine the scene of Luffy straight up punching Fishman Island, while simultaneously breaking the Red Line with the ancient weapons, with We Are playing in the background. I also believe that the Noah will be used to put every resident of Fishman or Merman in it, while Luffy breaks their home. They need the Noah to fit every one of them with their main belongings, because when Luffy destroys the island, they won't be safe out in the water. The force of Fishman Island's destruction will probably lead to a massive flood and a water phenomenon that can instantly kill anyone without protection. Maybe Luffy will be saved by the Sea Kings, or maybe he'll hop in the Noah right after he does this. This will redeem the promise of the Joy Boy from 800 years ago. Okay, so going back to the three meanings of kanji for One Piece, which is Hito Tsunagi, what is the rope linking all men? Who is the one that will create one sea at peace? And what does in One Piece have to do with Luffy? The rope linking all men is Luffy, which makes him the first definition of Hito Tsunagi. Luffy is also the one that'll create one sea, or the All Blue, and will put it all to peace. Peace as in peaceful, which shows that he is also the second definition of Hito Tsunagi. The third definition is honestly the best one because it's kinda tricky. What does in One Piece even mean, or have to do with Luffy? Well, Well, first off, he could be the one that'll bring the world to being in one piece, or as in one kingdom. We know that there was an ancient kingdom back in the day, and Luffy will most likely somewhat recreate it in his own style and own way. Maybe when Roger found it, it wasn't in one piece because it wasn't all there. The most important and crucial thing to the treasure wasn't even alive yet, but it'll be at Laugh Tale once Luffy finds it. Luffy being the One Piece treasure also makes sense since Roger couldn't use it back then to flip the world upside down. He couldn't use it for anything because it merely didn't exist yet, although it's kind of
You know something? What I was just thinking, I'm starting to think that maybe Uranus might be on Laugh Tale as well, right? Like I think it might be there as well. You know, like it could be part of the treasure. You know, probably the most important piece, right? Probably the most important piece. But yeah, I don't know. Because we haven't really got like what I'm thinking. We'll probably get answers to Uranus either in Elbaf or it might actually be at Laugh Tale. If we don't get answers in Elbaf, I think Uranus is in Laugh Tale or on the moon, one or the other. You know, maybe Enel might come down with it. Maybe Enel might come down with Uranus or something. I don't know. Angel said, I think Luffy the only alive pirate captain who don't care if it's real. Adam said he does though. He cares about finding out that it's not. Then his life has no reason if it's not real. Angel said Luffy has shown many times he's fine or his friends are more important than his dreams. So as long as he has his crew, I don't think he would care if it was a myth. He would somehow find a meaning. The thing is, I think that there's something at the island. That's all I'm gonna say. Whether you want to call it the One Piece or not, that's not the argument I'm making. I'm saying there is a treasure at Laugh Tale, right? And maybe that's when Luffy, the treasure, whatever the treasure is, Luffy might find out that he is indeed the One Piece. You know what I mean? But there still is a physical treasure at the island, and that's what I'm talking about. When I'm saying here saying that there's something at the island that I want to know what that is, I'm talking about the treasure. You know what I'm saying? Which we have for so long assumed is the One Piece. You know what I'm saying? Like I just like saying that, like revealing that the treasure at the island isn't the One Piece and Luffy is the One Piece instead, it still doesn't take away what the mystery of what is at Laugh Tale, right? What is this treasure that Roger left and got the world going crazy over? What's that he left at Laugh Tale? What is it? You know what I'm saying? Is it something that helps Luffy along the way, or is it just like gold? Is it a bunch of gold and then we find out that Luffy's the One Piece? I don't know. I just want to know what the treasure is. Where did I leave off at? Plus, to Luffy become. Angel said, plus Luffy becoming Pirate King means being the freest, not finding the treasure One Piece. Adam says, I agree, Angel, but instead of finding out the truth there, Luffy immediately leads the crew into certain death, Kuma, and then the time skip. I would want a captain that plans. Angel said, LOL Bluff, we not talking about the past debate. Adam says, and that makes no sense. Literally the first page that we find out about the Pirate King, he is in cuffs and put to death, plus the responsibilities of being a captain and caring for the crew. What about that is free? Angel said, Roger already said the treasure he left at Laugh Tale is everything the world has to offer. All right, let's continue.
Funny that since he couldn't use the One Piece, he instead inspired the One Piece to find the One Piece. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I find that kind of silly yet perfect. Now, remember how I said at the beginning of my video that the One
have the One Piece find the One Piece. See, and that's where I go, because now he's saying you're having Luffy being the One Piece, find the treasure being the One Piece, but it's like, which is it? Is it Luffy? Is it? Is there two One Pieces? Is that what you said? Like, and that's kind of my point. You know what I'm saying? Like I that saying right there just kind of contradicted everything to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like if Luffy's the One Piece, the treasure ain't the One Piece. But if the treasure's the One Piece, Luffy's not the One Piece. Luffy's just the key to the One Piece. You know what I'm saying?
One Piece logo hints at what the One Piece is. Well, notice how Luffy is in the logo. In my opinion, this is the most Oda thing to do, and I think when we look back on it, we're gonna just think like, god damn, how is it right in front of our face this whole time? Like, he's basically just toying with us at this point. There's more to this logo which has to do with the original Joy Boy from 800 years ago, so try to keep it in mind because I'll expand more on it later. Just remember the logo because I'll be discussing more on it in a few minutes, but before that, I want to discuss what made Roger and his crew laugh. The tale of a monkey named Luffy made Roger and his crew laugh so hard that they started crying. In fact, Luffy or the One Piece itself made them laugh, kind of like how he's been making us laugh for up to 25 years now. I can see the laugh tale ending in such a humorous way with even those who try to hold it in can't help but burst out in tears. I mean, how can you not laugh at the things that this goofball does? Like, Luffy has been making us laugh since day one. I'll never forget the first time I watched One Piece, I started laughing so hard when Luffy called out Alvida. I had almost no impression on what One Piece was. All I knew was that it was a shonen, so I was expecting it to be a little goofy, but man, I didn't expect the humorous vibe to be the driving force of the series. I was instantly hooked by it and never went back from there. So just like Luffy's been making us laugh throughout the entire journey, the whole of the laugh tale is most likely the overall story of Joy Boy, both the one from 800 years ago and the one we are witnessing right now. Joy Boy must have been a funny fellow himself since he had the model Nika fruit as well, but I believe the main part of the laugh tale that made Roger so full of life was most likely the tale of Luffy, whom I believe may have even been pronounced as Laffy in the Kazuki writings, but I'll get more into the tale itself later. It's kind of a funny story that the man who's been searching for the One Piece had it right in his own hands the whole time. Also, did you know that Oda himself foreshadowed Luffy being the One Piece itself at the very beginning of the series? In Orange Town, we continuously see Luffy bring up how the Straw Hat is his treasure. Now, how does this foreshadow Luffy being the One Piece? Well, think about it. Luffy's nickname is Straw Hat or Mugiwara, which could foreshadow Luffy himself being his own treasure by the end of the series. If Mugiwara really is the One Piece, this could possibly go down as Oda's best example of foreshadowing. He's known for his hinting at the puzzle formula, but this is honestly just another level. If this does in fact become true, let's remember to always put the G before Oda. Another possible foreshadow that I've thought about ever since I first saw it is Luffy's chest. X marks the spot on pirate maps, and him having the X shows us that he is in fact the treasure of the One Piece. I thought of this all the way back to
I kind of like that. I kind of like that argument. I do. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like the whole X marks the spot because, especially it being a series about pirates, right? Like, you know, like when you watch pirate movies or shows or whatever, you know. Now, of course, I wasn't around during pirates, so I don't know how realistic that is. But yeah, they always talking about like they have this pirate map, they have the treasure map, and it always leads them to the treasure where it's like X marks the spot. And then Luffy has this big old X on his chest. Kind of like saying he's a treasure. So, okay, I give him that. That was a pretty persuasive piece of evidence, right? That was a pretty persuasive piece of evidence. Angel said, Roger said the treasure he left at Lab Tile is everything the world has offered. Not what that even mean. He should have said he sent the One Piece to chase after the legendary treasure. The been mistaken for the One Piece. But yeah, I don't know, man. Anything can happen. Might be true or false. Yeah, I kind of like the whole X, the symbolism of that X on Luffy's chest, possibly meaning that he is indeed the treasure. That would be a great little sneaky little piece of evidence that Oda kind of dropped. If let's say this does turn out to be true, this theory, that would be a dope little thing. Let's continue.
To when I first watched Fishman Island, but thought it was kind of dumb back then because I didn't have much more evidence to go off of. Now let's talk about the vast treasure that's at Laugh Tale. Now that you've heard all that, you may say, well, that isn't a treasure. The One Piece is supposed to be an actual physical pirate treasure that's on the island itself. Oh, trust me, there is a vast treasure just like Odin said there was, and it's been foreshadowed in the single chapter of 302. When you hear what it is, you're gonna realize how perfect this all is. So this chapter is titled Finale. With this title, I believe it's supposed to foreshadow the finale of One Piece. Before I tell you what the treasure is, let me just tell you that this is the chapter where the Skypeans and Shandians finally make peace and both clans go under the name of one ruler, which is the Sky Knight Ganfall. I believe this foreshadows the end of One Piece because everyone will most likely become peaceful with one another and acknowledge one main ruler or liberator. This could be Luffy, I'm not quite sure yet, but maybe there will be no ruler over the world because that doesn't seem to work. The whole world will probably be in one piece with each other. No more wars, no more fighting, just friendliness and peacefulness with one another. Luffy will just be the liberator that kicks anyone's butt if they try to do something dirty or ruin the peace. So now to how this chapter foreshadows what the One Piece treasure actually is. Later on we see the Straw Hats talking about what they want to buy with all the gold they stole. Now remember, if Luffy himself is the One Piece, then how would the treasure symbolize this? What if at Laugh Tale there's a giant bronze statue of Luffy? Don't believe me? Well, then how come in this chapter title finale, Luffy says he wants a gigantic bronze statue? Yes, this gigantic bronze statue might be the One Piece treasure. If Luffy is the One Piece, then the treasure that he'll find is probably a bronze statue replicating him. I believe it'll probably be a funny looking gigantic statue of a monkey with a straw hat, or basically Luffy. I also think it could be a monkey because in Skypiea we see that the golden bell has something that depicts a monkey with a straw hat on it. If the prophecies made by the Ancient Kingdom are true, then they probably saw a monkey with a straw hat as the return of Joy Boy, who will save the world. Notice how earlier in the same chapter we also see Shandians talk to the statue of Kalgurda. This is most likely a direct parallel with what finding the One Piece will be. Notice how the Shandians say to Kalgara that the sacred duty of the Shandians has been fulfilled. They then say that Kalgurda's wish has officially reached his friend. They don't have to make future generations shed blood from now on. They lastly swear to never let the life of Shandora be extinguished. This is a direct parallel with finding the One Piece because once they see the statue and read the true history of the world, they will then fulfill the sacred duty of Joy Boy. There will probably even be a statue of the original Joy Boy standing next to the statue of Luffy. The Straw Hats and Luffy will have accomplished or will be accomplishing the wish of Joy Boy. When they see the statue of a monkey named Luffy and the original Joy Boy, they will never again let the light of the Ancient Kingdom be extinguished by defeating the world government and by defeating the Celestial Dragons. Another time we see a statue is at the very end of the same chapter title finale. For some reason, we see the Var statue at the very end. Remember this statue and what it looks like because it's very important to a certain point I'll be making very soon. There's more foreshadowing of a giant statue being the One Piece treasure itself, like in the next chapter when Luffy says it once again. I believe he also says it in Water 7 and of course in Dressrosa. When Luffy first sees the Cairo statue, he notices
He's still calling it the One Piece treasure. He's still calling it the One Piece treasure. Just call it the treasure because Luffy is the theory. You gotta be consistent, man. The theory is Luffy is indeed the One Piece chapter, or the One Piece treasure. You know, so yeah. So you gotta say Luffy's the One Piece treasure. Andrew said Luffy statue at Laugh Tale is interesting. Yeah, I don't know if I believe that, but you know, I don't know. Who's to say there isn't? But that'd be wild. That'd be wild. Adam says, just like Little Mermaid, I agree. Let's continue.
notices it and says how it's practically a naked statue of an old warrior. Maybe the statues at the One Piece will also be practically naked, which will be pretty funny. We later see Rebecca telling Luffy how the man of this statue is a mystery and that nobody remembers him. Maybe the statues at the One Piece were also a mystery for Roger and his crew because no one knows who Joy Boy was or will be. He was erased from history just like Kairos. The biggest hint of the One Piece treasure being a statue of Luffy would be that it's in the logo. Could you imagine imagine if the statue that the ancients carved is in the exact pose that Luffy does while in the logo of One Piece? Man, that would be too much honestly. Like, how much more perfect could it get? I'm telling you, people are going to be decoding One Piece hundreds of years after it finishes. Kind of like how we have to read Shakespeare in high school. In the future, students will probably have to learn One Piece because it's just that good, and in my opinion, a whole lot better than even Shakespeare. Well, this pretty much wraps up why I believe the One Piece will be a statue of Luffy or Joy Boy, but in my opinion this isn't the only treasure that's there. Oden claims there's a vast amount, which makes me think that it can't just be one thing. It would also be underwhelming if all there was a statue of a naked monkey with a straw hat. Going back to the chapter title finale, let's see what the other straw hats wanted to buy with the gold they stole. Usopp says he wants 10 cannons. I can see there being 10 cannons at Laugh Tale, which will make Usopp and Frankie immediately run over to them. The cannons most likely won't be modern warship cannons, but will probably be more along the lines of the ancient kingdom's technology. In Skypiea, we see them use weapons like dials, so maybe the cannons will be monster-sized dials that could do a load of damage to anyone.
Bruh, I hope Oda brings back the impact dials, cause it was I love the technology of it, right? You know, like, cause when Usopp got a hold of the impact dials, bro, that made him able to fight Luffy fairly even though I think if Luffy would have just like went like all out from the get, I think he probably would have beat. I think Luffy had to hold back a little, you know what I'm saying? I know he was trying to beat Usopp, but I think he also underestimated how much Usopp really was trying to fight, right? Like I think that's one thing about Luffy. He was kind of, you know, he it's like he was a little overconfident in that thing. He wasn't really prepared what Usopp was bringing it. Usopp was ready, right? Usopp was ready, but yeah, man, I like the whole technology, the impact dials, but I don't like how Oda just kind of seemed to kind of forget it. I thought it was a dope addition. Like maybe there could have been some more Oda done with the impact dials. Like we don't really see Frankie using impact dials like that. Him being like the technological, the tech guy of the group, right? I would think that he would try to integrate impact dial technology more into his technology, possibly. Cause I think it's good technology, right? It's good technology that could still be used. But yeah, we don't see it that much. It's not as relevant as it was pre-time skip. Adam says, just like Little Mermaid, I agree. If there is one god in the OP world and every iteration looks like Luffy, that fits. Well, we know that there's not. We know that the real god of the One Piece world is God Usopp. And then you got Nell too, so that's two. That's two guys right there. And then now we got Nika and Luffy, you know. And don't forget the forest god, the rain god, all those guys as well, you know. Angel said, "Don't they stop working if they in the blue sea for too long? What, impact dials? Do impact dials stop working? I don't know. I don't recall that ever being stated. But if you could find something that stated, let me know. I guess I don't think that's the case though. I mean, Usopp was definitely using in the blue sea, but I don't know. Adam says, I think that's ultimately what the devil fruits are. Impact dials perfected. Interesting. I mean, they are swirly, right? They got the swirliness like devil fruits, these impact dials. Adam says, I met the god of the world once it's in One Piece. I mean, I guess if there's only one god of the world. And Angel said, yeah, I just searched. They stopped working in the blue sea after some the impact dials. They need clouds to work. Oh. Okay, I mean, if that's the case, I guess that's the case. I didn't know that. Let's continue.
or anything that gets hit by it. I think this will be really cool to see because the dials were one of the coolest weapons in the show and we haven't seen them since the pre-time skip. The next one who says something is Sanji. Sanji says he wants a refrigerator with a lock. Wow, Sanji, a refrigerator with a lock? Really? I mean, how much more specific and in our face can it be? A huge part of the One Piece is Joy Boy himself, the one from the Blank Century. In the Reverie, we see Imo walk into a refrigerator with a lock to look at the giant straw hat. This is perfectly placed with Sanji's quote in this chapter because Sanji, of course, is a cook, and I bet he does want a refrigerator with a lock because Luffy probably eats most of their food when Sanji's not paying attention. This is a perfect example of Goda foreshadowing something that's hidden in plain sight. I also know this hint is meant to be about Joy Boy since in the next chapter,
I'm just curious of what Sanji thinks a lock is going to do to stop Luffy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Luffy really wants the food, he could. You think a lock is going to stop Luffy from breaking the breaking into the fridge? I mean, I don't think so. I don't think so.
we see that Sanji doesn't want to buy that with the gold anymore. We see that Luffy still wants his bronze statue, that Chopper wants his books, and that Zoro still wants his booze. By the way, I'll get to these two next, but Sanji doesn't want his refrigerator anymore. Even though everyone else wants the same thing as the previous chapter, Sanji changes to wanting a new pot, frying pans, dishes, and a gigantic mousetrap. Also, not important to this, but I thought Sanji liked mice and was even becoming the next Alfredo from Ratatouille. So why does bro want to kill rats and mice? Anyways, back to the main subject.
Well, trapping a rat don't mean he gonna kill him. He just wants to trap him, right? Like, trap him so they just not moving freely. So, I mean, maybe he just wants to trap them so they just, you know, they're not just freely running through the ship and eating food and stuff. So he traps him and he could probably free him afterward, right? So I don't think wanting a mousetrap is you know, is a bad thing for Sanji, you know. Adam says there is no way for the world to exist as one without separation. There is nothing to perceive. One Piece, all blue, etc., would be like the sun, one lifeless glob of energy. Maybe not lifeless, but perceptionless. I'm not sure where you're going with that one, Adam. Angel says it seems to have been working past time skip. The lock on his refrigerator. The giant mouse trap for Luffy. Oh, a Luffy trap then. Get him a Luffy trap. But, I mean, come on, let's be serious. If Luffy really wants to get in the fridge and you put a lock on it, that's not really going to stop. If he really wants to, maybe he just abides by the rules. But, you know, if he really wanted to, I don't think, unless it's a lock made of sea stone, I don't think it's stopping Luffy. You know, a sea stone lock, maybe. Continue.
I believe Oda placed a freezer with the lock for what Sanji wants in the chapter title finale because this is a part of the finale of One Piece. The giant straw hat that's inside a giant freezer with a lock most likely belonged to Joy Boy, and that's what the whole Laugh Tale or One Piece is about. Now, what else have we seen inside a giant freezer with a lock within the story of One Piece? If you rewatch the introduction of Oars and of the giant straw hat and Mary Joyce, the scenes are practically the exact same and in parallels. Im walks into a giant freezer that's locked up. Moria walks into a freezer with the giant lock. Im is carrying Luffy's wanted poster. Moria is carrying Luffy's shadow. Now, why would Oda make these scenes direct parallels? Well, because Oars was the original owner of the Straw Hat. Yes, Oars was the Joy Boy. And by the way, I'm not talking about the Oars and Thriller Bark, but instead an even older Oars, Oars the First. Oars Jr.'s Jolly Roger proves that he's actually Oars the Third, which lets me believe that the Oars and Thriller Bark is Oars the Second, and that would make Oars the First Onigashima. Yes, I believe Onigashima, also called Oars the First, is Joy Boy. Another clue would be something that I brought up many times, which is the Var statue. The Var statues that are laid out throughout all of RBR Jaya, which is the land that worships the sun god, look exactly like an Oars. Why would the sun god worshippers' land have Oars statues all over the
Y'all know this is Wizard of Oars speaking. You know he's big on this whole the idea of Oars being Joy Boy. So I know he's having a field day with this explanation.
place? Well, because Orange or Onigashima was the one they were actually meant to worship. More quick hints of Orange being Joy Boy is that the Japanese kanji for Orange translates to Odor, which is the sun god in the game Dungeons & Dragons. Another hint of Orange the First being Joy Boy would be that Orange Jr.'s sails have two inverted suns on them, showing the exact signs of both who the sun god was and two sides of the same coin reference. Another possible foreshadow would be that Ace gives Orange a giant straw hat because he never has shade since he's the tallest and closest to the light. I believe this could foreshadow how the original Onigashima Oars got his straw hat. They probably even call him the sun god because he is literally the closest to the sun out of anyone in the land. Another foreshadow would be that Moria puts Luffy's shadow in Oars, hinting that the original Oars acted like Luffy and was Joy Boy. Now with the reveal of the human fruit, we can finally see that Oars could have been able to shrink in a human form since it's a Zoan fruit and then worn the straw hat. Obviously, I know the head at Onigashima is too big to fit the hat, but with the reveal of what the Gum fruit actually is, I believe that he could have definitely worn the straw hat shown in Mary Joyce. I mean, just because this hat isn't the size of Onigashima doesn't mean he couldn't have worn it. The last time I heard, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit, the dude ended up writing a book on how he actually did murder his wife, or at least how he would have done it. With this being said, if the hat doesn't fit, that doesn't mean we should acquit on the idea that Onigashima could have been the owner of it. The biggest and craziest hint that I haven't talked about in any of my videos of Oars being Joy Boy has to do with the One Piece logo. I know we've already gone over it many times, but I promise this one is the best hint yet. Just like how there's a man wearing a straw hat depicted as the letter I, there's also a skull wearing a straw hat within the O. This can symbolize multiple things. First off, this could be a hint that the giant skull in One Piece wore a straw hat back in the day. This could also symbolize that Jolly Rogers originated from this very being, since it's the very symbol of the entire series. If you've seen any of my other videos, you already know that I believe Jolly Rogers came from Onigashima, since in chapter 2 Oda tells us that the term Jolly Roger originated from the devil. Remember that Oars is the devil of the One Piece world. Also notice how in this same page there's a rough depiction of Nika and the sound effect the dum over at Jolly Roger. The dum is a direct reference to the drums of liberation, which it seems Oda had planned since the very beginning. There's more to Jolly Rogers coming from Onigashima, which has to do with the Bible and One Piece, but that's for a whole nother discussion for another day. With all this being said, I believe that this skull with a straw hat is meant to symbolize the giant skull of Onigashima, and the Luffy statue is obviously meant to symbolize Luffy himself. Since these two are most likely both Joy Boy, hear this out. Remember how I said multiple times that the word One Piece in Japanese, which sounds like Hitotsunagi, has 3 different meanings and one of them is the rope linking all men? Well, aren't both Joy Boys the rope that links all men? Once the world finds out of the past history of the Joy Boy that lived 800 years ago, they are supposed to come back together, right? And isn't Luffy already single-handedly being the rope that is linking all men? So the both of them should bring all men back together because of the truth and because Luffy is the current liberator. Well, take one more look at the One Piece logo. Notice how there's both
The straw hat biting the rope, right? I knew where he was going with this. I knew where he was going with it when he said the rope linking all man. I was like, you know, the straw hat or the One Piece logo does have the skull biting onto the rope, right? Which goes all the way to the anchor. Adam says, more important for Skypiea, why did all the iconography of Skypiea, please translate, please that. You know, you got to use easier words, man. I'm not about to sit here and be Googling words. Why did all the iconography of Skypiea have Nolan's head nut all over his head? Oh, that little thing, almost like he made the whole thing up out of thin air. LOL. Iconography. You mean like this? I guess you're saying that like the statues of like iconic people or iconic beings. Why do it have Nolan's head all over? I don't know. Isn't that just part of who Nolan is, having that head nut on him? I mean, if that's part of who he is, why wouldn't they put it? Just like Luffy with the straw hat. Angel said, sad thing is, if Orange Jr. did kill his wife, or if OJ, I thought you were talking about Orange Jr. I thought that's OJ, Orange Jr. If OJ did kill his wife and were to admit it, they couldn't trial him. Yeah, they couldn't. He already was found innocent. You can't try people who've been tried already. Yeah, that's why he dropped the book, because he could get away with it if he did it. But he never said he never explicitly admitted it. He just said if he did it. But we don't know if he did it. Let's continue.
Joy Boys, and then a literal rope that links the whole logo together. Can't believe how much in your face it is, can you? I couldn't believe my eyes when I decoded this, and if this all becomes true, then I think it's fair to say Oda is the best at what he does. Like, I honestly don't know how he does it. Both Joy Boys being in the very logo and word One Piece symbolizes that the One Piece treasure is all about them. When you reach Laugh Tale, you learn about the old Joy Boys' Tailor legacy and how Luffy continued it 800 years later. The Laugh Tale itself is in fact just a tale of Joy Boy, but I'll get more into what else it is very soon. There's still more treasure that I believe was on the last island, so let's finish that discussion before starting another one. Going back to what the One Piece treasure is and what's on the last island. So now if Onigashima was Joy Boy, then what if he died on the last island and his body is there? We clearly see that there's a giant skullhead island, but there's only the skull. We don't know where the rest of his body is or where the skull even came from. This is just a thought and a bit of speculation, but you never know in One Piece. Since Sanji does say the refrigerator line, I was also thinking that maybe at Laugh Tale the rest of Onigashima's body is frozen in time. It could have been frozen by Aokiji's fruit, and we see many hints at giants dying from the cold weather. For example, both Saul and the Oars and Thriller bark were frozen to death. Although I do for sure think Oars the First somehow died by being frozen. His frozen body being at the last island is a bit more of a stretch. Pun intended. Another big hint to Onigashima being a part of the One Piece could be when Big Mom asks Roger while she's falling to her defeat, what is the One Piece? Where is it? And that some of it is in this country, isn't it? This could be Oda foreshadowing that Onigashima is connected or a part of the One Piece. If Onigashima was Joy Boy, then of course his giant skull would be in some way a piece of the One Piece. Another way you could look at this is that what Luffy and his alliance are doing is a part of the One Piece as well. As Oden showed us, this is a part of the prophecy and a part of the information that he learned. In my opinion, it could be both, because I believe the One Piece isn't just one thing. There's honestly so much more I could go over, with Oars being the original Joy Boy, like how Blackbeard, Rocks, and Dragon have Jolly Roger.
Hey, I still love, despite his theory saying Luffy is the One Piece, he still refers to the treasure at Laugh Tale as the One Piece. And that's all I was saying, is like, people refer to the treasure, the treasure at Laugh Tale as the One Piece. And yeah, Luffy could potentially be the real One Piece, but you know, it's like when I say what the One Piece is, I'm always thinking of like this treasure at Laugh Tale. You know what I'm saying? What we've this whole time been kind of heavily implied to be in the One Piece, or what we have assumed for so long at that treasure being called the One Piece, right? Like that's what we've assumed since pretty much the beginning of the series, that the One Piece is a treasure on the last island of the New World, I guess, which now we know it's not the last island. It's just it's a different island, but they call it Lapsu. But yeah, you know, I'm looking at it as strictly as that I think it's just easier to look at it that way, right? It's just a lot simpler and easier, especially since we've always kind of looked at it that way. But let's continue. Or hold on, let me see what y'all talking about. Adam says all the statues and ruins, etc. Why does Skypiea have it from hundreds of years earlier? Are you saying that they had Nolan's statue before he showed up? Is that what you're saying? Like he already had a statue with his head nut. His head nut. That's a funny way to call it. And then he said they had the head nut symbol everywhere before Nolan. Yeah, good call. I don't know. It's not one thing I noticed. I have to check it out. And then Angel said the One Piece is finding out you're a comic book. You talking about Luffy having all those wild Looney Tune abilities? Let's continue. Well, we at the end stretch.
Rogers depicting the ancient giant, but if I went over it all, this video would take another 2 hours. If you're interested in this, let me know if I should remake my older videos on why Oars is Joy Boy. I know the sound quality in those videos is terrible and the overall production is trash, but for now, check those 2 big videos until I make an updated version of it. Also, remember to like and subscribe with notifications turned on if you want to learn more about what the ancient mysteries in One Piece truly are. Going back to the chapter title finale, we also see Chopper say that he wants books. So I think we'll most likely see a few books at Laugh Tale. The Tale of Laughter is sort of a book in itself, but it's probably on a poneglyph or some stone engraving. You can look at the tale itself being a book, but I think there'll actually be physical books made with paper. The literal books that we'll see at Laugh Tale is probably something like Roger's journal, just like how Odin had a logbook on his journey. Maybe Roger also had one and left it there. He did say that he left all his treasure there, so maybe this was a part of it. I think this would be the best case scenario to flesh out Roger's character because it is his thoughts and everything he went through in first person. This would be better than just having some old head tell us how Roger was or how he acted, because they can't tell us what he was actually thinking throughout his entire life. They can only tell us what they saw with their own eyes. I don't see why we wouldn't find out more on Roger's character when the Straw Hats reach Laugh Tale, and a personal logbook of his would be the best way to show us. It was the best way to show us Odin's story, and it would be the same or at least done in a similar way for Roger. I can even see Roger writing a personal letter for Luffy, Joy Boy, and the next Pirate King. Maybe it'll have something like, "So you finally reached the last island, Joy Boy. May you liberate the world and bring the dawn. I have one request for you, which is a dream I can never accomplish. Can you please..." For me. Here, he might ask Luffy to accomplish his own dream for him, which could end up being ironic because Luffy himself also wants to do the same thing. Even if this doesn't happen, whatever Roger writes will be interesting to read for both Luffy and Robin. Obviously, everyone will be interested, but these two will be the most tied to it. Another type of book that could be at Laugh Tale is books on medicine. Chopper also says that he wants to read about other countries' medicine in this panel. Maybe at the One Piece there will be medicine to learn about from a specific other country, the Ancient Kingdom. Another idea could be that maybe at the One Piece, there are the cherry blossoms that he's been looking for. Maybe Roger and Crocus didn't realize that these could heal his disease since the cherry blossoms only seem to be a myth. Not many have even heard about their existence except a few in Drum Island. It's gonna be so nice to see Chopper finally achieve his dream after everything he went through. The next thing from this chapter and panel is what Zoro says. Zoro needs to only say one word: booze. I'm pretty sure most of you are well aware of booze being at the One Piece, and yes, I believe it most likely is. It's most likely Bing Sake that is there welcoming anyone who finds it. I won't go too deep on this, but if you want more on it, you can check out Arthur's massive theory on it. Lastly on this page, the Straw Hats are all chanting the word gold. There is also someone singing or playing music on Konish's boat right next to them. This makes me think that maybe at Laugh Tale somehow the drums of liberation will be playing, or maybe they'll sing Bing Sake like how Roger did on his journey. I also believe that since they are chanting gold, there will be a load of pirate gold left at Laugh Tale. I was also thinking, if there's a ton of gold there, then where could it have come from? Well, in case you forgot, Wano's nickname is the Country of Gold. Hundreds of years ago, it was known as this, which puts up the question, where is all the gold? Well, what if Wano was referred to as the Country of Gold before and during the Void Century, but couldn't be known as that after because Joy Boy and the Kazuki clan transported all the gold to the final destination, which is Laugh Tale. If a bunch of gold is at Laugh Tale, wouldn't that best explain the term of vast treasure used by Odin? I mean, what kind of pirate treasure would the One Piece be if it didn't have loads of gold? Can we even really call it a pirate's treasure if there isn't any gold or valuable merch? The panel or scene of seeing the vast treasure is probably going to be amazing to see all the Straw Hats' reactions. I specifically can't wait to see what Nami does when she sees it. She'll probably bathe in it or just lay in it as we've seen her fantasize about before. She'll probably be so happy that she won't even get mad at Sanji or Brook harassing her. So all in all, yes, I believe the One Piece will be a vast treasure with an insane amount of gold, a bronze statue of a monkey that wears a straw hat, Bing Sake, 10 impact dial cannons, the reveal of Joy Boy and the importance of the giant refrigerator, books.
I don't think it's gonna have like every single specific, like, I'm not saying it's not gonna have a lot of stuff, but like every single specific thing that they asked for, like Sanji wanting a lock for the fridge or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, I could see booze being there. I could see maybe some books for, like, you know, some medical type knowledge. Maybe not books, but maybe like some poneglyphs or some hieroglyphs or something where you could read and, you know, like something like that. Or maybe books, you know, like books too, I guess. But yeah, let's see what you guys saying. Adam says, I didn't know a better term for the head nut. It's all good. I don't care. It's a funny term. It's just a funny term. I think there's like a ponytail though. Like, is it like an actual nut on his head? Like, is it not like a ponytail with his hair? Adam says, I have wondered a lot, Angel, if maybe Luffy's dream was to be the biggest superhero. I don't think so. I think it might be like the whole party thing that Arthur. I think that because they said it's something that's childish, right? Even though being a superhero is kind of childish, but I think Luffy said he don't want to be a hero, right? Remember they asked him like, "Hey, do you want to be a hero?" And he's like, "Nah, I don't want to be a hero because heroes got to share their meat." You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it would be like a superhero or anything. And he said, which in the manga world would have been an issue in the 90s? Can Luffy actually read? I don't think so. I don't know. He's never shown that he reads.
Books, possibly Roger's journal, and the cherry blossoms that can cure any disease. This is most likely the treasure aspect of the One Piece. One other quick point to lay out in this chapter is right after all this, the Straw Hats fall back down to the Blue Sea. Maybe this is foreshadowing that after the Straw Hats find these treasures, they have to fly back up instead of down. Especially if the One Piece is at Enies Lobby, which it possibly could be. I mean, how many times have we seen the Straw Hats go through crazy lengths just to go to the next island, or to survive an insane natural disaster? One last time sure wouldn't hurt, especially if it's for finding and returning from the very destination that has been focused on since the very beginning of the series. There's still one more thing that I believe could be at Laugh Tale, but it isn't in this chapter and it's honestly kind of random. The last possible thing I think could be at Laugh Tale is a transponder snail that has a video recording of what the world used to look like, or what the celestial dragons did to obtain their power. The reason I believe this is because Whitebeard says that when someone finds it, the whole world will be flipped and shaken to its core. To get the whole world to realize and believe something, you can't just have a story to tell. I mean, who's gonna believe the most wanted criminals like Luffy and Nico Robin? It would make more sense if the world starts to fight back after they see something dirty that the celestial dragons did, or if they see the ancient kingdom itself. Professor Clover also says that if the people of today found out about the mere existence and idea of this kingdom, it would be a major threat to their government. The name alone could expose so much. Since the kingdom's existence could change the world forever, maybe there was a recording of what it was like or how it was lost to history. I think this would be really interesting and just really important to the story as well. Maybe this could lead to the overall flashback of the original Joy Boy that we know almost nothing about, even up until chapter 1048. I don't see how else we'd get a flashback unless the Laugh Tale is very detailed and explains his whole life story. Overall, this is the treasure aspect to what I believe the One Piece is, but there's still a few more things to go over. Now, there's obviously a tale that has to live up to be so funny for both the Straw Hats and us the reader. In a tale format, I truly believe it'll be comedic, yet at the same time, it'll tell us the history, the future, and the present all at the same time. I have a really good idea as to what the Laugh Tale is and how it'll be played out. Remember how I said earlier that the Dawn or the Romance Dawn is Luffy's story itself? Well, did you know that Luffy's hometown is called Dawn because that is where the dawn begins? Luffy is meant to symbolize the sun, as he is the sun god. That's why he's from the east and why his journey is to the west. The sun rises and the dawn begins in the east, and it travels towards the west to finally go to the sunset. The sun sets in the west and it rises in the east, just like how Luffy and the dawn begins in the east and moves towards the west, just like Sun Wukong's journey to the west. The story of Sun Wukong is about a monkey traveling to the west to India as Laugh's Tale, or Laffy's Tale. The people who saw the future in the Void Century may have seen a timeline where the future Joy was being called Luffy, and they mistook it as being Laff.
It really meant to. It was really called Luff's Tale. Luff's Tale. Luffy's tail. It's kind of funny. Luffy being a monkey, you know, or based on a monkey, a monkey tail almost. Angel said Luffy read about Ace first year of Pirates, so I think he can. Found this on Reddit, but he seems to be reading a newspaper in chapter 824. Yeah, I mean, it's just we never really see him. Like, I mean, I guess he's read, but I don't know. If you found something, then I guess he can read. I don't know. Let's continue.
Since that's what Joy Boy does. He laughs and makes others laugh. Remember that the Golden Bell of Shandor seems to have a monkey with a straw hat, possibly showing that they depicted him as a monkey in the prophecy. If the laugh tail is in fact the tail of Joy Boy, then isn't it literally Laugh's tail? Think about it. Joy Boy is Nika, and Nika is the sound effect for laughter or smiling. If Nika is the sound effect for laughter, then Laugh Tail can also be called Nika Tail, or should I say Nika's tail, or Laugh's tail. There are many wordplay connections you can probably do with Laugh Tail, and I think Oda did all of it on purpose. The Laugh Tail itself is probably the whole story of Joy Boy, told by the original Joy Boy, who tells all the history in a goofy way by naming prominent figures with animal names or some sort of object, which is kind of like what Luffy does. For example, in the tale, Luffy would be a monkey, Zoro would be depicted as a green fox, Nami would be an orange cat, Robin would be a robin bird, Chopper would be a raccoon dog, Marco would be a pineapple, and so on. I can make my own version of how I think Laugh Tail will go, but I'm not going to do that in this video. If you want to know how I think Laugh Tail went, then comment and let me know if that's something you're interested in. Of course, it's going to be funny and it's going to troll the whole story of One Piece, but I think that's somewhat how it's supposed to go. With the Dawn being the name of the era of the return of Joy Boy, I believe that the will of D is the will of the Dawn. The D is passed down from generation to generation until the Dawn arrives. After the Dawn has ended, there will no longer be any reason for the D clan to keep their initial because they will have already defeated the celestial dragons. As the Dawn ends, the will of D will also come to an end for a good cause, which is peace. Luffy being the final will of D member and the youngest will of D at the time signifies that he himself leads the Dawn after it's been waiting to come for such a long time. The will of D members are known to directly go against the celestial dragons, just like how the Dawn directly goes over the darkness that took over the world. The Dawn brings the light to see out of the darkness, just like how the D clan will bring out the truth out to the world. Notice how we also see members that know what the One Piece is bringing up the Dawn. They don't bring up any other D word because that's most likely the most important one. Now, going back to the true meaning of Romance Dawn, remember how I said earlier that romance or romanticism in One Piece simply means believing in something? Well, then the true meaning of the term Romance Dawn means believing in the Dawn. This is also why I believe the will of D is the will of the Dawn, because they are the ones who have inherited each other's wills in the belief that the Dawn will come. Just like how Whitebeard said, someday one man will appear bearing the weight of centuries of inherited will on his shoulders to challenge the world. One man shall bring the Dawn because the will of romanticizing or fantasizing about the Dawn shall surely come through one day. One man will carry all the inherited will of the Dawn to bring the Dawn. Also, is it a coincidence that Whitebeard, who is someone that knows what the One Piece is, says this as if he's telling us what the One Piece is, and then goes on to say the One Piece is real?
One Piece は実在する!
After he saw Ace die, he realized that Ace was not Joy Boy. After this, he realized that the man who carries Ace and Roger's will is in fact real. Overall, he had faith because he for sure knew that the One Piece was real. He knew for sure that Luffy was real and wasn't just some myth made up by Roger and ancient men. He told Blackbeard that he isn't the one that Roger is waiting for, that he isn't the one.
I mean that would be kind of poetic though, right there. Like let's say Luffy is the One Piece. You know, just kind of going off, play along with the speculation, the theory. It would be like maybe Whitebeard the whole time doubted if the One Piece actually existed, but like from talking with Roger, maybe he kind of had an idea what the One Piece was supposed to be, right? Like maybe he knew it was not an actual treasure, it was a person. So when he actually met Luffy, he was like, yo, this guy's the One Piece right here. Like, and then it was just, he was like reassured. So I mean, like that would be a little poetic right there. I will say that. I will say that. Adam says, good call. I was just curious. Angel said, yeah, just check the chapter. He is indeed reading the newspaper. Never mind. He seems to be struggling, so Nami takes it and start reading it to him. Luffy actually forgot Dragon was his deadbeat son. Let's continue.
Peace that Roger was too early for. He simply realized that it was Luffy, the man that was Ace's brother and current holder of the Straw Hat. Whitebeard, Roger, Rayleigh, Ace, Shanks, Kaido, and Dragon knew because each one of them have seen at least a part of the whole history that the Kozuki clan weaved. In fact, even we have already seen some of the history. The whole history has to do with what happens in the future as well as what happened in the past, because the future isn't even further future's history. Overall, the One Piece is the history of Joy Boy. Altogether, it's the history. His story.
Alright, man. Shout out to Wizard of Wars and Marshall D. Preach. I'm gonna make sure I like the video. Y'all make sure y'all go hit that link and go like the video as well. I'm probably keep this too short. You know, it's been a pretty long stream right here. But yeah, I don't know if I don't believe that Luffy is the One Piece. No, it was a good theory. I will say it was a good theory. I do like he did make some pretty good points. I think one of my favorite points that was kind of easily to overlook was the X on Luffy's chest, symbolizing like the X marks the spot for a treasure. And if you look at the One Piece being the treasure and Luffy being the treasure, possibly, it would make sense for him to have X marks the spot, right? But you know, even some of the other arguments that I might disagree with, you know, they were still pretty good. You know, he brought some pretty good evidence to back his theory up at the end of the day. You know, whether I disagree or agree with a theory, I always kind of look at it as how good the argument was. You know, like what kind of evidence did you bring to prove your theory, and how well did you get it across? But yeah, I believe that Luffy could definitely be like the key to the One Piece, right? The key to making the One Piece even relevant. Like, let's say if anybody else stumbles upon Lafto and they find the treasure, like, or find the One Piece, for example, maybe they can't utilize the One Piece for its purpose. You know, like maybe only Luffy can access the One Piece and make it work for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I'm kind of along like that. You know, like if we're talking One Piece as if it was a treasure, though, like the treasure that, you know, we kind of were meant to believe it was most of the story, like the treasure that Roger left. You know how like when people talk about the treasure that Roger left at that island, they call that the One Piece. Now, when you're talking about, if you're looking at it from that point, that perspective, then no, I don't think Luffy is the One Piece. But if you're looking at it as him being the one to unite the world and connect the world and bring everybody together, then yeah, I would agree with that reasoning behind him being the One Piece. But yeah, the Angel's Room said, great stream. I like the theory. Wonder how much he got right, or maybe he got it all wrong. Yeah, it was a great stream. It was a great theory. It was a great video. Yeah, I don't really have much else to add, you know. I don't want to make this stream any longer than it already is, because, you know, it is kind of a I think we're going on almost 3 hours right now. It's like 2.5 hours. Which is good timing, actually. Like, you know, I was thinking that this could have been over 3 hours, right? But yeah, you guys let me know what y'all thought of the video. What did you agree with? Whether it was from me or from Wizard of Wars. Like, what did you agree with? What didn't you agree with? What maybe you have something to add to the theory to make it more plausible. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, let me know. You know. So, guys, make sure you like the video or like the stream. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, I do a lot of reaction videos, and I'm about to start expanding onto some other things for the channel. You know, right now I'm just kind of trying to catch up with a lot of these videos people have been sending me to react to. I'm trying to catch up to those before I start trying to do anything else. Cause I'm kind of like back, right? I have a backlog right now in the videos I need to catch up on. So I'm trying to do that, and then once those are caught up, we can start implementing some of these ideas I have for the channel with different stream ideas, right? But yeah, anyway, y'all, sorry, y'all, dog. I hear him walking around. I'm thinking he probably gonna try to come in. But anyway, yeah, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. You know, like, you know, I reach out to me on Twitter. Twitter's probably gonna be one of the best places if you just want to connect with me personally. I also have a Facebook page. You guys follow me there. If you're looking for a One Piece community to be a part of, we have the Discord, and we also have a Facebook group. The Discord is going to be the best place to reach out to me in general. I ain't gonna lie. I've been pretty active on the Discord, and I try to be active on the Discord when I can. And if you want to send me stuff to react to, we have a submission channel on the Discord. So there you go. There you go. Anyway, y'all, it's your boy Sean P. the Bluff God, and I won't be streaming tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday. But we will be back for the chapter reaction on Sunday. So y'all make sure y'all come back on Sunday. We will be doing it this time around the same time that I started this stream. So yeah, y'all come join me for that. Anyway, you know, y'all have a good Friday night, and y'all have a good Saturday as well. It's your boy Sean P. the Bluff God, and I'm out of here. Peace. Oh yeah, and shout out to everybody who joined the stream. Angel's Room, Adam, Best Generation, and Rage, and my boy Jay, and my uncle for showing.